Yeah.
Oh, you just got him.
boy.
Oh, the chocolate guy.
Yeah, what's his name? His name's Scooby Snacks.
Oh, dude, sick.
Dude, look, I got his.
Oh, nice.
He gives out stickers.
Dude, yeah, this is perfect.
He gives out stickers now.
Yeah.
The local San Francisco shrooms dealer deals mainly out of Dolores Park, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday evening. And when he does do so, he offers many varieties. He can give you little cubes with mushrooms that are pre-dosed, get you going. He also has peanut butter cups. He's a great baker. I feel like that's like the best. It's a really underrated aspect of his appeal, is how good of a baker Dolo Snacks is. He goes by Dolo Snacks.
That's good. That's
At
useful
Dolo
too.
Snacks, follow on Instagram for some of the best shrooms. Very consistent qualities. Really, really cool guy too.
Then get on it now.
We are beginning
folks.
our podcast today with a promotion for a local
Do drugs. And
drug
if
dealer.
you're listening to this, do drugs. Experiment.
Or, yeah, you can also
but get
join.
in on the shroom chains now, because before you know it,
right,
it's gonna go the path of marijuana, where there's 10,000 dispensaries and the quality just decreases so tremendously that you can't even. They take the love. It's disgusting.
It's not going to be the same as Dolo Snacks, where I go to this fucking sterile, minimalist, fucking building and shit that's overly well lit with like these weird like I don't know. I feel like I'm like not cool enough to be there, but also too cool. If that makes any sense. Like
it's kind of like going to a dispensary now must be like what it felt like to go to like a cool cafe in the 90s. You know,
I don't know. I
like
feel like
you go and it's just
too
like
much
people,
credit.
but it's just
suck.
like they do. Most of them suck.
Some of them suck, but some are
anymore,
pretty cool.
But
yeah. It just sucks. It's like you never get one that is cool and also has the best products.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the ones where they're assholes and they're pretentious and it's like overly cleansed have some really good shit. Unfortunately.
Tell me if you think this is funny. That's why I was thinking that we should do like speakeasies for weed, where it's like designed like a basement or something.
My backyard in high school.
Yeah,
exactly. I think that was called a high school backyard.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
That's what I'm saying though. But that'd be way more chill.
Welcome to the Pretend
Welcome
Friends
to the
podcast.
Pretend Friends podcast on this wonderful Sunday evening, April 21st. So just the day off of 420, unfortunately. I'm your host, Shane P. Also joining me this lovely evening is Jacob Stinson. Jacob, why don't you say hello?
What's up?
We also have Nathan Hernandez. Would you like to say hello? Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. It's an honor and a privilege to have served this country.
Fantastic.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Glad that we're all here hanging out. It's a beautiful sunset today in San Francisco. Look at that fucking shit. I wish you all could see it, losers.
Incredible.
But
I went and did a 420 show.
420 plays it right.
420.
No, be real, like, were you like stoned, like straight up?
You fucked up, bro.
Were you like, did you go straight chug rogue, bro?
I was pretty high.
Nice.
But
all right.
so was everyone else.
Whoa.
And I've done comedy like high a lot recently, so I'm getting better at it. And anyway, so I'm there and I'm about to go up, and like half the room like leaves just because we're gonna leave. And I was like, damn, that kind of sucks.
I love leaving comedy shows.
Yeah. What a great
it's my
feeling.
favorite part of the experience. It's like,
then,
hell
I don't
yeah.
have to be here
I get to go
anymore.
somewhere else now.
So
No
actually,
offense, Jacob.
so half the room left, but then before I go up, all the host is still whatever meandering before he intros me. Basically, the same equivalent amount of people, or actually more, walk in, but they're a troupe of 8 African American gentlemen, and like
I like where this is
the
going.
like too cool for school ones. And in my mind, I was like, hey,
Wait, hold on.
they're gonna love Whitey.
What does too cool for school black person mean?
You're gonna have to unpack that one.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
Are you talking about this systematic oppression towards the resources that they're offered academically, or something else in this context?
what I'm saying is that they're at a comedy show and they didn't look like they were people that like to laugh.
Yeah, no, they look like they're gonna be a tough crowd. I get it.
Yeah.
They didn't seem like they weren't already laughing, is what you're saying.
Right,
they didn't seem like they were already having a good time.
And you'll see what I mean when I describe
That
what
could be really
happened.
discouraging, dude. When you walk into walking to a bar about to give a set, and there's people at the bar not having a good time.
Oh yeah, but dude,
when's the last time you've been at a bar and haven't had a good time? Like, isn't that like why you go? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, why do they choose to go to a comedy show?
Who goes to a bar and like is at a bar and is just like mugging? Like, go home, bro. Walk it off. I don't know. But go on with your story. Sorry.
Yeah. So then, but I'm like still
get
like,
to
really,
the point. Also,
I'm like really confident, so I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go up, whatever. They'll just like that. I'm like white. I'll just like play into like being white, and you guys are all black, and I'm white.
You're gonna play the B Rabbit card, eh?
Basically, yeah. And none of that shit works. They fucking like hate me. At one point, this is the worst anyone's ever made me feel while I'm doing comedy. Is this guy who was just staring at me like this, and he just would move his eyes.
I feel like that fool is just trying to be a dork.
He was like mean mugging me, and I called it out. I was like, shout out, brother. I've never had someone make me feel this horrible by only moving their eyes. Like, it's very impressive. Damn. And anyways, I just bombed really fucking hard. And that's how my night went.
That sucks. I mean, that sucks that you had to go through that. But hopefully, like we called it out though. It didn't seem like they were having a good time anyway. You know, it's just so weird. Like, some people are just hell bent on not having a good time.
And like,
don't take it personally.
Yeah, it's all right.
I legitimately probably
don't misinterpret this as all black audiences. Hopefully,
no. Actually, no. The only thing I thought about it was like I've only done like a black audience like maybe 3 times, so I know where I can, so I should do that more, so that when. Like I can't come to a show and just be like, oh fuck, everyone's black, you know. Like I need to know how to make black people laugh.
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, that's a good.
Hey man,
I feel like if you make black people laugh, like eventually that's everyone else.
Yeah.
You know,
they're the pioneers of culture.
Yeah, and to be honest, when you do get it, it feels extra good.
I mean, well, it's good that you recognize this market opportunity for your comedy.
You just become a better comedian towards black people. If I were you, I would just start doing 90s Def Jam comic routines. Y'all ever notice how white people be walking like
dude,
this?
You really gotta look up some like in Living Color era Jim Carrey.
Dude, hell yeah.
You have to start wearing a purple suit.
Jim Carrey was in with black people in the 90s.
You ever come home and you know your girl just about to give it to you? She got that look. She walking right out the kitchen. You come in the door.
Yeah, so Jim Carrey, like there's no mistake about it that the reason why he was able to have such success culturally, and like he went on a run, you know, like there's a Jim Carrey run where he was just fucking crushing
back to back,
and
man.
it's in no small part just because again he was in with black people because he was on In Living Color, which was a predominantly black sketch comedy show.
That was I would say
and that was like the black SNL basically.
Yeah, and that's also like that era I think is peak race relations as well, because it's
in the media at least
like there was no, when you displayed black people, like you look at, I forget the name of it, but the Urkel show. Like
Family Matters.
Yeah. So the whole point of black sitcoms were like, there's
now
no show.
You just harped on why every other cast member fucking probably hates that show.
It should have been called the Urkel Show.
Whatever. But you look at the shows of that era, and the whole point was like, hey, it doesn't matter that they're black. They're a family. They're going through things that are just like us. Like the whole point, all racial narratives of that time were like, we're all equal.
100%.
And then it took a sharp turn at one point where it was just like, no, we're not, we're completely different. Like,
because it like shattered the facade, right? Like after a while when like, it's like, okay, but like there's only so many Cosby families.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like there are like a sample size of like 2. Mm-hmm. It was cool to have that representation, but you know, it's funny that you just called on this because all this positive effect traces back. What you're talking about, all this positivity in the 90s in terms of how black people perceived, how they are like perceived very like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it comes to the music and TV, all of that started with the Bill Cosby show.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Bill fucking Cosby, bro.
It really did.
Dude, I had a...
Dude, like, it's, you know how fucking hard that is to grapple with mentally for probably somebody like, I think Dave Chappelle even talked about this in one of his stand-ups where it's like...
Yeah, he was just like, he was doing all this in the entire time. Like, he was fucking straight up R-wording.
All that to just communicate that, like, dude, there's just like... they're so. I mean, obviously, yeah. Like this motherfucker.
Dude, I had a classmate.
It just sucks, dude. It's like, damn, man.
I had a classmate in middle
you
school.
Weird ass motherfucker. Why you gotta be that way? You weird ass
he really
bitch?
tanked it, man. I mean, like you
Bro,
really.
you're
like,
Bill Cosby. You didn't gotta rape people, dude.
Man, no, that's the thing. Like with guys like that, it's
what
like
the fuck?
the act of it was what he enjoyed, undoubtedly.
You think so? Being that predatorial,
being that being the predator, I think was what was getting his jollies off.
For sure, yeah.
Because like, of course, he knew the sex itself was whatever. You're Bill Cosby. You can walk around like no matter what.
Yeah.
And then he's been consistently getting pussy forever.
It's funny you say that because like, yeah, my freshman roommate AJ, my friend AJ.
Shout out AJ.
Shout out to AJ. Was in a sociology class once, and he was reading about like sexual assault and stuff, and they interviewed guys who had done it and had been in prison for it. And like why they did it and what they got out of it, and it was nothing sexual. It was like
it's a power thing,
control, power, stuff like that. And man, AJ really, he was reading quotes from those quotes, and they were saying it right. And I now know that you only need to hear like 8 quotes to really get a sense of like what people are saying.
Yeah. You don't need to keep reading it.
AJ took he just like spared no expense, just like letting me know exactly what every quote he's with. He ripped up like 50 quotes, dude, just about it. I was like, all right, man.
Jesus.
He's like, I like the way it felt to dominate somebody else. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. And he's like, he looks down at the page. It felt good to fucking make someone do what I wanted. I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy to hear. And he's like,
goes right back to the mill.
I liked it when I was able to make someone do. I was like, all right,
Jesus Christ.
Stop talking.
Well,
to
it's
me.
all in all. Okay, it's all an endless cycle. Someone exercised some degree of power over them.
Well, hold on, wait,
Right.
quick.
Opening, that was like our what do you call that?
Wait,
that was
one
like
more-
the part of Seinfeld in the beginning where he's fucking telling
It's a
stand-up
cold
jokes.
open.
Yeah.
One more thing. My first exposure to Bill Cosby was a 6th grade sleepover where
Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby drugged and raped you and your friend.
No, that was Michael Jackson. But no. Then the guy who was hosting the sleepover just like hijacked it by making us all watch Bill Cosby stand.
He made you watch Bill Cosby stand up as a 6th grader?
Yes.
Dude, for those that don't know, Bill Cosby stand up's like,
you
ever try to give your child a bath? And
he was hosting the sleepover, so we
you ever make
had
fun of your
to.
wife and she come at you like Frankenstein?
We had to do what he wanted to do.
Literally, what the fuck are 6th graders doing? Listening?
Bro, it was so weird and I hated it so much I still remember it very vividly.
Oh man, it's not good.
I remember like exactly where I was.
That's something like men in their like late 50s.
That's so funny, bro.
It's like, what can you possibly get out of this as a 6th grader?
Yeah, so that was me like at 12 just being like, can we, if we're gonna watch stand up, can it be like Dane Cook or something?
Oh my god.
What?
That's
When I was 12, bro.
okay.
Bro.
Dane Cook is a 12.
Dude, when I was 12,
Yeah.
I never heard anyone say like, I need an alternative to this stand-up comedy. Throw out some tank.
well, I'm just telling you who I was personally into at 12.
I mean, that's fair.
That's fair. That's very fair. I will say though that like at 12 years old, I was like, I don't think this guy's that funny.
I also like
Dane
Kevin Hart, and in hindsight,
No.
he's not that good.
I think
No,
Kevin
of course-
Hart is whoa.
Say it with your chest.
I don't know. I've
It's like,
never
bro,
enjoyed
come on.
Kevin Hart's. I remember my most
I'm sorry
vivid,
on
my
it.
most vivid Kevin Hart memory is when I was signing up for the military. They make you go to this center where it's called MEPS.
It's some guy hijacked it and made you watch Kevin Hart.
They make you take your shirt
Wait, what
off.
is it
They
called?
cup your
I'm
balls.
sorry,
It's
what is
called
it called?
MEPS.
MEPS?
Yeah, when you sign up, it's
Is
like
it an acronym?
I forget what MEPS. There's so many acronyms in the military, but you show up, right? And they do physicals on you. They make sure like you're okay. You take the test that is like the military intelligence test to find out what job you're gonna get. And the whole thing is you're just sitting around waiting for hours. And there was this Latino kid sitting next to me, and he was just like, oh, I just watched Kevin Hart's special for the 4th time, and all we have to do is we're waiting around, like we're not gonna be able to do anything for an hour and a half. And I said, oh, I've never seen that special. So this Latino kid recanted an entire Kevin Hart comedy special to me over the course of this hour, despite me not showing any interest whatsoever. He just kept going back and repeating Kevin Hart jokes and talking like he was Kevin Hart. And you're sitting there and like you just had your butthole inspected by a Samoan man. And you're standing in line for hours without a shirt on. People are taking like your weight, taking your measurements, and this guy was like, "He don't have no nipples." And ever since I hated Kevin Hart. Ever since then, Latino man, if you're out there, I forgot your name. But I hope you're doing
wow,
well.
sounds like this military has to really lying to us about the experience.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm grateful.
Whoa,
but
wait, hold on. Don't. Are you saying
don't join the military, please, if you're listening?
Wait, are there a lot of Samoans in the military?
There's a lot of Samoans in the military.
there's a lot of benefits to being in the military.
There's a lot of benefits to sucking my
Sorry,
cock.
this is
too.
gonna-
We should try that. I think, when I talk about the military, I'm like, okay, if you have literally anything at all going for you, even a little bit, please go do that. Like, just explore it.
What's behind that?
Go Peace Corps. If you are useless and you are 18 and you have no path forward and you want to get out of the middle of your bumfuck, if you want to get out,
how did I not?
if you want to get out of the town that Jacob's from, if you're in Nebraska
or Salinas,
Wait, where is
or Daly City, California, let's
where are
be real, folks.
Somalis from?
Somalian? No, Samoans, Jacob. They're
What?
from the Pacific.
this will
They're
thought
from
you were in the
Pacific Island.
military training with Somalians.
Somalians.
That
No,
which
very
would just
different.
speak to the sheer
Yeah, I was
diversity.
like, there's a
Really
lot
does,
of
yeah.
them. Huh?
I
That's
admit there was actually a
interesting.
ton of East Africans in the military too.
That's right. That's badass.
Yeah, shout out
when
East
I was,
Africa.
And shout out East Africa.
Shout out Eritrea, Somalia,
Shout out Libya.
Ethiopia.
I served in the military with black men, but also
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
man.
shout out South Sudan.
Yeah.
I think they need to stop committing crimes.
Hey, speaking of not going to the
Classic
military,
military quote.
But
there.
yeah,
But-
anyway, don't do it
Well, yeah,
unless
yeah.
you have nothing going for you.
But
No,
why? But why?
when I was in-
Because
Hold
it's
on.
your agency is completely stripped from you. So you are put into this like weird meat grinder where you have to dress a certain way. There are grown men, barely older than you, that are yelling at you for the kind of haircut that you have. You're eating poisoned, shitty food. That food that I had, especially with the Marine Corps.
Whoa! Breaking
was-
news: the American military doesn't feed our troops well.
No, it just sucks. It's a third party called Sodexo.
It seems like a bad decision.
they
though.
undercook the chicken. It's
We're
somewhere
gonna pay. We're gonna give this money to Israel, but not our own military.
Yeah,
why
Keep
would
our
we-
bills fed, huh?
So like
That's how it's
explore
going down.
exactly. Yeah, and you're out there. You're supporting the American empire. There's a good chance you're gonna die for. Which of the countries to die for has to be the worst. and then
Shut up.
you're also
Hey, shut
underpaid. Shut up. And then you're ridiculously underpaid, which. Honestly, all of that you should take if you're 18 and directionless and you just need a chance to get the hell out of your town as quickly as possible. I'm not saying never do it, but there's very few cases where I'm going to look at your life and be like, yeah, enlist in the
for sure.
military.
As a
Got it.
sophomore in college, a guy came.
That's cool. Go on.
A guy came into one of our classes and was like, guys, if you agree to join the military or Air Force or whatever as an engineer for 4 years after you're done with college, we'll not only pay for the rest of your college and any loans, but we'll also pay you $40,000 a year while you're in college.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
so you got the standard sales pitch for the military.
Yeah, but like at the time I was like, holy shit.
That's a lot. See,
I mean,
that's why
they do hook you up.
it's
though, right? Don't
predatory
they?
to go into
Do they?
an 18-year-old
Temporarily.
room, like a 17-year-old, and say that kind of money. Because, like, okay, $40,000 a year for 4 years. But what you did was you got a job as a software engineer, and then you were making 8 times that. That's nothing. That is not that much. And you don't only have to go in for those 4 years. And when you sign pen to paper for the military, they have your ass for 8 years. 8 years. 4 active duty, 4 in the reserves, and they have every right to call you back, and they frequently do.
Oh,
and everything
wow.
they give you,
Okay.
they expect something back. So if you're in there and you're like, hey, I almost did this. They were like, hey, you want to be a nurse? We'll pay for your college, because I was a medic. We'll pay for your college. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, we'll pay for it on top of the loans you can already get, on top of the GI Bill. But you're going to have to be in the military for 6 fucking more years. Bear in mind, you already signed a piece of paper that said you're in there for 8. So it's 8 plus 6. You're the engineer. That's that's like almost 15 years of your life that you are giving to this institution and undercutting the amount of money that you can possibly make. Because if you go out into the private sector, you're going to be making way more and you have no agency. So if they tell you, hey, you got to go to bumfuck Idaho for no reason, or you got to go to Bahrain or some other piece of shit country, Djibouti, Africa. No offense, Djibouti, but those are not places I want to be.
Shout out Djibouti.
You're fucked. So they're like, do it. So I'm just saying, like, you don't get that when you're 18 because you have no agency anyway, because you're in high school and you have no control over your life whatsoever, and you don't have any concept of money or a concept of time.
I'm curious, like, how does that interplay with your personal opinion on the abhorrence of just military in general, or having a strong, robust military in general?
Well, okay, so
in
like
terms
that,
of like geopolitical, like stature.
see that's fluctuated over time because the older and older I get, the more I look at the nation as it stands now, and I see such a stark difference between the people, the American people, the Republic, our institutions, whom I love, and the American Empire, which is a parasite on top of all of that all of our funds and all the military goes to support. The American Empire is satanic and fucking shitty and has nothing to do with the well-being of us. And also, what else feeds the military is this insidious relationship between the corporate world and the private sector. I mean, the corporate world and the government, which is like the fucking military industrial complex. All this to say, Obama. We should probably move on from the conversation.
That was good.
I don't think I dreamed this. Don't they like give you a test in high school that's like for the military? It's very like military specific.
Well, you can, yeah. I mean, maybe
like I would take whatever the standardized tests. You know, and I was a little fucking nerd, so I did
you
good
took
on
the military aptitude test or whatever.
Is there
a name for this?
So I usually do good on the test, and then we took that one, and I probably I'm like military stupid. It was like so many I've never taken a standardized test and
see this
been
guy
like
I cannot.
Do you see Jacob handling a rifle?
Oh, dude. Oh, you're fucking out there like a Steve Martin movie. I can't imagine it actually.
Dude, speaking of movie, so not to beat a dead horse, but there's some recent news. To get into our agenda today.
Is there a class action lawsuit
against Civil War? There's some recent news on Civil War, the movie, right? Alex Garland, the director of Civil War, the movie that we just spent all last week shitting on.
Our famous Civil War
pretty bad
breakdown.
This motherfucker did an interview with Business Insider and just had some of the most smug things to say, like possible. It was insane. So there's one where they asked him about the Texas-California alliance in the movie, right? Which is never explained. It makes no sense, right?
Like, hey, can you tell us the plot of the movie? Because you didn't tell us in the movie.
He said, I made a set of assumptions, and I always have a certain kind of audience member in mind, I suppose, that I'm in a conversation with. Obviously, it's a sort of slightly dumb thing to do because everyone is so varied. But basically, he wants to make it seem like there's a certain type of person that he has in mind that would get the movie.
Dude, that's classic hack thinking. You didn't get the movie because you weren't smart enough. It's not that I didn't explain this world or give you characters I care about. You're just not intelligent enough.
Yeah, right.
To get my highbrow Civil War movie.
Yes, Jacob, yes.
I'm gonna start using that. My jokes aren't unfunny. It's just you people are too stupid.
You're just too stupid to get my
basically,
That's basically what he's
and it's just
saying.
like, okay, so describe the person you're. I think they ask him. So let's, So, what does that audience member look like who you're talking to? They ask him, right? And do you mean broadly with all of your filmmaking or this film in particular?
What color is
So
he?
they actually asked Business Insider, to their credit, asked some pretty good questions.
Yeah, that's a great follow-up.
She
Great follow-up.
Insider.
He doesn't even answer the question. I think, to be honest, it's because I came into the film industry at a time when this is going to make me sound sort of pious in a way. I don't mean it this way. I think it's a more reflection of the time I came in. I came into the film industry at a time when audiences were straightforwardly described in terms that were pretty rude, pretty pejorative, essentially reductively, as if they were incredibly stupid. And you could not make a film that did not fundamentally bend to that stupidity.
Does this guy only watch Marvel movies?
He's basically like this is so bad where he's not even saying like the audience doesn't get it, like you don't get it. He's saying everyone who made it easy to get in the past, every director, was insulting you for making a movie that's easy to understand.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like, dude,
Yeah.
like, bro, take
And-
some
and none of-
responsibility.
and none of that-
Take some responsibility.
And
you
I don't know if, obviously, I don't know if he has a part in this, but none of that excuses the blatant lie of the advertising campaign.
Yeah. Well, okay. The ad
There's-
campaign. Yeah. The director doesn't have that much to do
Yeah,
with.
that's
I'm
not
sure.
it. That's
That
not
has
it.
to be-
That's more like an A24 thing.
For sure,
Yeah.
but we hate the movie because of everyone
I feel like
involved
that's
in it.
that's A24 just smelling their own shit
Right.
now.
So
So
it's
basically just like
So it's Alex Garland smelling his own shit, and then A20. So then it's like shit
roses
squared.
really smell like ooh ooh ooh.
And that's how you get
A24
Civil
smells
War.
like
It's like a
ooh, ooh,
Russian
ooh.
doll is smelling your own shit.
Dude. So
Man, when I saw
because
that,
it's like, dude, there's movies that are ambiguous that everyone gets. Blade Runner.
yeah,
Is he a replicant or is he human? Right? They fucked it up by adding some editing and like the remastered version.
Yeah, that was Ridley Scott's fault.
Yeah, thanks Ridley Scott. But everyone's on the same page about what the ambiguity is.
Yeah.
With this
Exactly.
movie Civil War, we're not on the same page because there's no page to be on.
Blade Runner is a movie where you can be like, if you didn't like it, you didn't get it,
Have you
and
guys
you're not an
seen-
asshole.
Have you seen Old Boy, South Korean
Actually,
thriller movie from 2004? I
is
believe.
it like
I have
side-scrolling
not
fighting,
actually seen
kind
that,
of?
no.
Old Boy's a movie.
I haven't seen Old Boy.
Yeah,
no.
and there's parts of the movie where he's kind of like fighting like he's in a video game, sort of.
It's a very iconic scene, yeah, where it shows it's a single take and it's like the main character Odesu fights through like 30 henchmen.
It's like going through a
and
hallway
he's
or something,
going through
right?
like a hallway and
Yeah.
it's shot very iconically. But the point of that movie is that, again, at the end, he finds out something that really fucks him up, right? And he pays a hypnotist to make him forget about it. And at the end of the movie, he smiles in a way that implies ambiguity, right? Where it's like,
either it worked or it
did he
didn't.
actually forget? You know?
Yeah.
So that's like, that's a way to, everyone knows what is going on in this movie until that point. And that's okay. But this motherfucker is trying to say like, like, no, like people who did it that way, like they did it because they thought the audience was stupid. It's like, that's not, no, bro, like you think the audience is stupid.
I get what he's saying. I guess like what? Yeah, he's an asshole and also not that great of a filmmaker. So fuck him. Also, he came into Hollywood at a time like his first movie was like 2014. Like, why is he acting like he came in like the 80s or something?
I watched another A24
Well, I
movie
guess
the other day.
that was like a weird. Well,
They're just losing. I watched Pearl finally. Have you seen that? The
Oh,
X?
yeah.
And it's pretty bad.
that's a sequel to.
X,
X, which I
which
enjoyed.
was great. I really liked
But you
it.
don't like Pearl?
And I didn't like Pearl, and actually yeah, it just was really bad.
I for one got tired of seeing like naked white people in A24 movies, so I
happens
skipped
every
X
time.
and Pearl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I watched it like somewhat. I watched X somewhat recently and I enjoyed it. I like the main girl because she's that kind of beautiful where you're also kind of ugly. Like she's just like
So she's attainable.
Yeah.
no. Like not even like
To me,
she's
at
attainable.
least.
There's just like her face is like asymmetrical and odd.
It's the
and it's like just
1910s.
jarring.
But it's cool to see.
Yeah.
It's cool to see different types of pretty on screen, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
there's a novelty to it.
There's
where
a
it's
novelty,
like,
yeah,
oh,
because like there was a
I
time.
see it. I get it. Yeah.
You know, dude, sometimes I was thinking of this because I go to the gym with my brother. Shout out Kevin, I love you. And then
shout out Kevin. You throw great parties.
yeah,
Shout out Kevin's wife, Carolina,
yeah, shout out Kevin and Carolina.
and Insane Clown Posse. Woo woo. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, so I was sitting there on the treadmill. We do a warm up every morning, like we just run on the treadmill. And I was watching Charmed. I don't know if you guys aware of the show Charmed?
Yo, shout out Charmed.
Shout out Charmed, dude.
Shout out Charmed.
But like it
Shout
made
out
me think because
2000s
like
network television.
early 2000s network television, you
Yeah.
had to be a particular kind of hot to make
Mm-hmm.
it. You had to be like model magazine, like Shannon Doherty's back. All three of those fucking brunettes.
You
are
had
so
to look like
goddamn
Elijah
gorgeous.
Dushku and Bring It On.
Yeah, you had to look
Right.
amazing.
Is that her name? That was her name, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. The
something,
Bring
I
It
don't
and Bring It On.
You had to be
yeah.
genuinely gorgeous, right? If
Yeah.
you were in a shitty teen comedy in the early 2000s, you had to be
There
like
was
off
one
the
look is
walls
what you're
gorgeous.
saying, right?
Yeah.
There was one way
It was
to
that
look
very
to
skinny,
be in a
very
movie.
magazine, very,
Right.
very, very Hollywood look.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the diversity, but I think we went for a minute there. We went too far the other direction, where we were putting just like fucking disgusting people on the screen.
Yeah, no, actually,
This motherfucker
always-
Jacob always says the same shit, bro.
What?
You express similar sentiments.
yeah.
What are
No,
you gonna
actually,
say?
no.
Yeah.
I thought this enough about A24, and I guess therefore horror movies enough. Like where the new shock is just like a old white person being naked.
It's like I'm tired of it.
yeah.
It is a little annoying.
And it's
It's like enough
effective
of the
though.
pagan
Like
shit. shit.
In
already.
The Witch,
I
when
got
the
it.
first time you see the witch's fucking gross,
Yeah.
weird,
Oh,
deformed ass, you're just like,
God.
oh.
But like imagine
You're
like
right,
going.
but that was the first time.
Yeah, it was the first time.
Imagine going
Yeah,
to these
yeah.
movies as like an old person.
Yeah,
You're like, damn, that's what you think of me.
it's true.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not that gross.
Well, at least
Like,
they're in a
Okay,
movie.
okay.
No.
But
Yeah.
to defend
I
too,
don't
when you
know.
see the fucking gross naked white people in Hereditary, you're also fucking horrified.
Kathy Bates. Is Kathy Bates in Hereditary?
No, Kathy Bates is not in Hereditary.
I swear to God, if
agree,
Kathy Bates is in
but, like-
Hereditary, I'm gonna fucking. Who's the
It's no one famous. It's just it's
I'm gonna
old
look it up.
people.
You know what I'm talking about? The woman who's secretly in the cult but doesn't tell her.
Yeah. I know her, but she's
Ann Dowd.
yeah,
a
she's
great
not.
movie
She's
that
like a
is.
character actress. She's not.
She's like character actress Margot Martindale.
Yeah, exactly. She's like she wouldn't. She's not like a name. They didn't get a name for that role. It's just
Dude,
something
the
like that.
scene in that that movie, the scene in that movie where he just
Which movie?
Hereditary, where he just drives back and just goes to sleep.
Dude,
Like,
Hereditary.
Yeah,
Shout out Hereditary,
dude, that's
bro.
such a good movie.
Fuck,
See what I'm
man.
saying? It's just like they earned so much goodwill so early on with A24. That's why it's hard to.
That's a good
That's
run,
why I think
man.
we're sitting here talking so much about this shitty A24 movie that we didn't like because it's like there's a part of you that feels betrayed.
It's just like,
Because
what the fuck?
So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
so
That's what
good.
happens, I
There was
guess.
just a run, and we talked about it. I don't want to repeat ourselves.
Like you guys
here,
really,
but
this is
yeah.
like the time where like you guys just didn't deliver on the hype, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I feel like now they're just like hyping, like
It's like
they're into their own hype now.
This
That's
has
what
to be
happens.
one of the most expensive movies.
Don't
they
get
made.
high on your own supply. It probably was.
Yeah, it's up
Okay,
there
so
with the
wait, hold on.
Northman, yeah.
So next, moving on to another quote from him, Alex Garland. The audience member that I am assuming I'm in communication with, I would characterize as being, and do you want to guess what the word is? Jacob, what's your guess of what the word is?
hold on, they characterize them as being.
So the audience that he's been talking about that he's actually in communication with, so the
talking
people
to.
who would get his movies, essentially, is someone who is.
Sophisticated.
Which word? You think sophisticated?
Yeah, I think
okay, Nathan's guess
sophisticated.
sophisticated. What's yours, Jacob?
Come on, Jacob.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I guess neither of you would have ever fucking guessed that it would have been the word engaged.
Oh my god.
Are you fucking
What
serious?
do you mean?
No, we intended on being engaged. in the
Yeah,
movie.
that's so insulting. Like,
Like, are you fucking? Yeah,
You could not have been more
It's like,
engaged
fuck
with
you,
this
bro.
piece of shitty art.
We were
More
engaged. That's
engaged
why
than
we
the
were
three of
not
us.
satisfied.
Yeah.
Are you
How dare.
fucking serious?
Alex Garland,
I
go back to whatever
crutched
shitty country.
out of my apartment, down a fucking block in downtown San Francisco. Downtown San Francisco, right? So you're fucking dodging who knows what, right? Had to be let in from the outside. From the inside because the Metron was locked for some reason at 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah, the
Crutched inside the
backside?
Metron where
Dude.
there's no fucking snacks, right? A non-working vending machine.
Yep.
There was no snack bar. The snack bar was fucking closed.
We went up to get something and they went,
I
actually, we're
crutch up
closed.
fucking stairs, right? I have to crutch up stairs, Alex Garland, to sit in this fucking seat, okay? And deal with the general discomfort of having my surgically repaired knee resting on this, like,
Well, maybe you just
random
weren't
chair.
engaged enough.
Yeah, and you're gonna fucking tell me, and I look at we watch your stupid ass movie, and we're engaged, and we're not satisfied. You're gonna come and say that people don't get it because they weren't engaged.
Fuck you.
Like fuck you,
Wait,
bro.
so he didn't.
Fuck Alex Garland.
yeah, what
He
a
didn't
piece
mean
of
like
shit.
Suck my
engaged
butt.
in like the news or anything, right? Like engaged into
No,
culture,
engaged isn't just engaged with the art.
into the movie
They're
itself.
Yeah.
imaginative.
Oh, God, keep
Oh my
going.
god!
This
Oh
makes
my
me hate
god!
this man
I forgot
even
about
more.
this quote. They're imaginatively engaged with the film.
Oh my god!
We're imagining now.
That is such a great cop out, Alex Garland. There you go. That's how
Yeah.
that's how you cover your ass. That's
I
a
mean,
good
yeah,
CYA.
Like, hey,
we
this
in
is
the
a
industry
lesson.
call that a CYA.
All the mediocre folks out there, take note. This is exactly how you get out of accountability
you
for
get
the
away with
shitty
it.
things that you
You
produce.
do have to
This is
imagine
how
the
you
plot.
fail forward.
You have to
Yeah.
imagine what's
They're
going on.
imaginatively engaged.
That's what a nonsense. What a nonsense
Hey,
thing
you know
to say.
what we should do instead of making a movie at all? Just imagine shit.
Hey, if you're
Who cares?
listening to this
Imagine it
podcast
yourself.
and you don't think it's incredible in every way, it's because you're not imaginatively
All right.
engaged.
You know what? Like,
Imagine,
I wanted to go on. But like,
guys.
enough of this.
One
fucking clown,
one thing
dude.
I will propose, because we are on the Alex Garland hate train, is that we should watch what many consider to be a good Alex Garland movie, and then see if that kind of alters the
What's a
chemistry.
good
of it.
Alex? What is he?
It would
like
be Ex Machina. I know you guys haven't seen Ex Machina.
I
Okay,
have
bro.
seen
Like
it
you had one hit. Good job.
twice.
Now you're buying your own hype. It's again.
good.
I feel like Alex Garland is
show
also
him.
just buying his own hype.
We also still need to watch RoboCop.
I have no. Yes, we do.
We
but
should
I
just-
have no doubt that Ex Machina is a good movie. But that's not the Alex Garland that we see before us today,
Yeah.
right? That's a different person. You know
I guess
what I'm saying?
the true, especially with directors, the
they're
true
just like
mark
us,
of
dude. They're
greatness
just like us
is
in your
consistency.
career and like the things that you do and how you see the world. Like, are you the same guy you were 5 years ago? I don't think so.
Not even 5, like 10.
Right?
That movie came out in like
Exactly,
2014.
Yeah. Like, dude, imagine 20-year-old Nathan right now.
Oh my god, I don't want to. I don't want to.
You're just not the same. You're not the same animal anymore.
Also, some people have like a well of creativity, and his first movies are obviously going to be like his entire life up to that point.
He blew his load,
and then he
is what
runs
Jacob
out of
said.
like stuff, and he's like, okay, now what?
Annihilation.
All right, enough of this clown. Other things. Taylor Swift released her new album. What's the tortured? What's it called? The Tortured Poets Society.
God, what a mouthful.
Yeah,
that does not roll off the tongue.
What a self-indulgent ass thing to call it. Wait, what is that? What it's called? Tortured.
It's something like that. Something along. Even if it's not a word for word correct, it's spiritually correct.
The Tortured Poets Department.
Right. Here's one thing I'll
I feel
say.
like she would get along
Taylor
with
Swift
Alex
fancies
Garland.
herself a tortured poet, fellas.
Hilarious. Well, actually, okay, kind of, right? I mean, she is.
Oh, okay. What do
she
you
is
mean?
kind of a poet,
But how
right?
is she-
She's not writing poetry that we find particularly.
She's not
good.
writing at
That's a
all.
good point. It's a good point.
She's not. This is the thing that I've been thinking about
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We're not, 20.
We're not the target
25
audience.
to 35-year-old white women. We're not living in the middle of the country. We're not in a loveless marriage. We're not like getting cheated on in
songs
college.
on this album.
Yeah, and they're all the same. We've gone through them.
I tried to listen to it.
It's really
I tried,
bad.
bro.
It's not
I tried.
good.
I
It's
tried.
the same fucking thing over and over again.
And if I find deeply upsetting with some of the Taylor Swift fans is that like a lot of their justification is like her sales and like how much money she makes. Which is like, all right, bro, like McDonald's is like the best restaurant. You know what I'm saying? It's just like weird, like capitalist sort of dystopian metrics in which to like judge art. And I saw a guy post on his Instagram story recently about it where he's like, let's see how Taylor Swift's album's doing. She has a top 1, blah, 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 like 175, 17 in terms of like streams or something. And it's just like, dude, you're such a gluttonous pig. Like that's how you're gonna describe while the album's good, not because like, man, this lyric on this song is really cool, or like she developed some really interesting themes and concepts in some of the songwriting. Like nothing that they're saying about why it's good. If you ask someone like why is Taylor Swift sucks or whatever, their usual response is like, she makes X amount of money, and it's like, dude, what the fuck does that have to do with their music?
For me, Taylor Swift is it transcends music or even like sales.
Ooh.
It's a mindset. To me, when I look at Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift,
Nathan just called Taylor Swift a mindset.
It is because what she is to me is she is a cultural and collective safe place for a very particular kind of woman that is very prominent in this culture, and there's no polite way to say it. It's just mid.
I would say mid and neoliberal is what I would say. Seriously.
It's not because like these women, they're in my mind, they're doing fine, right? They did all the right things. They all went to college. They all have good families. Yep. Maybe they have heartache in their lives, right? Maybe there's some interpersonal things in their life. Maybe their bitchy friend said something mean to them.
At worst, they went to like Missouri State.
At worst, they didn't get into their dream college. They didn't get to go to like Massachusetts. They had to go to Delaware or something like that. Right.
But they got a degree. You're right. Yeah. They're doing well for themselves.
They're doing fine.
Just fine. Yeah.
And there is nothing at all in Taylor Swift's persona, in Taylor Swift's music, and her art that is challenging in the slightest. And right now, that girl, like all of us, and I'm going to show some sympathy to that girl, girl is surrounded by war. That girl is surrounded by poverty. That girl is surrounded by a world that is constantly telling her that she's privileged, that she doesn't know what the fuck is going on in this world.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she is going to immerse herself in this mediocrity, to shield herself and to enjoy this moment with all the other girls just like her, where they can tune out all of these things that are telling them the world is collapsing around you. There's war. There's blood in the fucking street. There's people, zombies. There's fucking fentanyl addicts taking shits in every available corner in every major city in America. It doesn't matter. We're going to spend $1,000. We're taking a flight. We're going to Denver, and we're going to spend $1,000 for this Taylor Swift ticket to be around others who don't need to care, who can just be in this space, soft and comfortable, where nothing at all is challenged. And you know what? She's going up there and she's doing 1989.
Whoa.
And she's going up there and she's doing.
Yep.
You're on the phone with your
Yep.
girlfriend. She's upset. And you can be unchallenged and safe. And you
Yeah,
know what?
but
I
you-
think
you
we
could-
all have spaces where we are similar. Where do we do something similar?
But
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do that with good stuff.
But
though.
it doesn't.
No,
The
see, no,
quality
yeah,
of
yeah,
the art
that's not-
is not what's in question here. It's
Yeah.
what she represents.
So well, that's what I'm saying though. That's why I feel like it's a very neoliberal phenomenon though, because
Exactly.
it's like their way
Exactly.
to like safeguard themselves. Their safe haven is like a product essentially. Right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just like it's just something to consume. Just
and
like
that's why
mindlessly
Taylor
consume.
Swift has amassed more power
Sort
than
of
I
like
would say
Green.
most people in America. If Taylor Swift got up there and started fucking just saying Heil Hitler and started like encouraging people to join a fascist movement, I think a lot of people would fucking.
I think your retention rate would not be zero. It
No,
would be a
yeah, it definitely
yeah.
would. But
Yeah, exactly.
she can't do
Right.
anything. That's why
The
she
churn
got.
rate would be more than zero.
That's why she got in a lot of
Yeah.
trouble because
Yeah.
people were like in the 2020 election there was a lot of pressure on
Just barely,
her
though.
to say like, hey, you should support Biden, you should say something. But she knew if she says anything at all that disturbs this gentle little pawn that she's created, then there's a chance that it might backlash. But it got to the point where she had to say something. So who does she pick? To Shane's point, to Shane's very intelligent point, she picks the neoliberal mainstream
The
candidate.
free
She picks
market.
Joe
The
Biden.
free market's
She
choice.
fucking threw some sand in the air and saw which way the wind was blowing, and she said, "What is the thing that's
Where
going to disturb this pawn first?"
where are college educated women siding?
Exactly. And again, more power to her.
I mean, that's not surprising
Good
at
for
all.
you.
Like,
And
if,
you know,
if a
but I
celebrity,
feel like to Taylor Swift, the actual person, though, to her, hopefully, like, her, like, to be empathetic to her, like, she had nothing to do with this decision. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
no,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
a
Like, too much
team.
people make too many money. Like, too many people make too much money now for her to just
No
like
way.
have a say in this.
No,
now.
no, there's a team.
It's
There's a
bigger than
team.
her. Like Taylor
And-
Swift is like a brand. You know.
Exactly. And shout out to the team. You're doing great.
I hope that woman's doing okay though. Shit.
Probably not, dude.
Everyone
I
fucking
saw
hates her. She just wants to sing.
I saw a picture of her. I saw a
Sucks,
picture of her
dude.
screaming at her little football boyfriend. I forget his name.
oh, I
Travis
saw that
Kelce.
too.
Yeah, it was
That
hilarious.
No, but then you see interviews of her like on late night TV, and they're like asking about her dating life, and she's like freaking out, like, and it's like, yeah, bro, like like leave her alone.
Yeah.
I feel like people like it's like you're right. I think so. It may be more healthy if some of these people who are really big fans of hers just acknowledge that like they just like the brand, like Disney. Just think of it like Disney
Yeah.
and like leave Taylor Swift, the human being, like alone. Like just
Yeah.
let her. You know what I mean? Like
She's what
leave
she
her alone,
represents.
bro. Like
Yeah.
you're not her friend. Like you just like whatever.
Yeah, but like you get the good
But that's
parts.
not the
You're
effect.
gonna
It's
get
like,
the
yeah,
bad parts
yeah,
too. So.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I mean, like, yeah, her ability to not challenge your view of the world whatsoever. I
Because
think
to your
is why
point, I
she's
feel like the
successful.
male version of that is like Drake right now.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like the male /
Shout out
urban, like the more urban market side of it, right? The urban counterpoint to that is Drake because like I don't know if people like in the hood really fuck with Drake anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if it's urban. I, think
also-
think
But I
Drake's
know, but I do
suburban.
know damn well that college educated people who are upper middle class at least want people to think that they're into Drake.
Oh yeah,
At the very least.
100%. If you
So
work
those are
at
like those people are really big fans of Drake still. You know what I'm saying? Because
If
like
you-
I know a
yeah.
lot of people, everyone in
Yeah.
2013, everyone liked Drake because Drake was fucking sick.
Yeah.
But now it's like, dude, his music sucks
Yeah,
ass.
it's really
It's
bad.
really
It's
bad.
soulless. It's very soulless.
really
but there's some
bad
people
now.
who are just like, I feel like the people who still hold on to that do it for like some. I feel like a lot of them, the ones who I know personally who are really big Drake fans, are just like
They are basically parallels.
upper middle class. Like yeah, they're just like the male
And
version.
That's
of
the
Taylor
thing,
Drake.
that's the thing, that's the thing.
they're
Yeah.
like
No one in the
parallels.
hood likes
Chicken
Drake.
nugget music.
But if you
chicken
go
nugget
to
music.
an office and that office has kombucha on tap and they cater food to you, that's the kind of guy who
the
could-
two top artists there. Oh, and third now is probably Bad Bunny.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, he's
And
the
I-
Latino equivalent.
I mean, that music's really good though. So like,
It's
I
pretty
feel like at
sick.
least that's some good shit. So I'm never in a
He's
bad.
early on though.
I'm never like not
Give him
happy to
time.
hear. Yeah, you're right. He's getting spread too thin, but I feel like I just know that. I know people who say they love Bad Bunny, but I don't really think that they do. You know what I mean? Like they're not like. It's like I don't really make the connection between like the type of music he makes and like why it's really cool and like fucking rhythmic and
What's
shit
the
and like
most
who they are otherwise as
popular-
people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you don't have any rhythm as a person, like the way you walk, the way you talk. So why would I even be led to believe that you
Bad
actually
Bunny
like
rocked.
this?
Well, and it's
Because
also
if you
too-
did, then you wouldn't be this
because
way.
okay, what Bad Bunny
If
is
you did listen to
too.
Bad Bunny, you wouldn't be this lame.
Exactly. But what he is like he's just a package. He's just a
He's a
marketable
Latino
package.
heat. Remember, it comes around every couple of years, dude. There's like a Latin like spark every now and then. Despacito was like
exactly.
how many years ago now? Like that was like 10 years ago.
He's a convenient and easily marketable way to package
Enrique
like
Iglesias.
beats and like vibes that have been prominent for reggaeton has been around forever. I've been listening to reggaeton since like 2000.
Gasolina
Like Daddy
actually
Yankee.
came out like 2005.
Yeah,
right?
Really?
Fucking
Wow.
20 years.
Yeah.
And before it had its big
Reggaeton's been
mainstream
around
success.
forever in the hood, bro.
Yeah,
Salinas.
even before, but before it was big in the hood, it was big in the islands. You know, it was big in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it felt very in place when I heard it played in Thailand. I was like,
Hey,
this
but
is
I'm
where this
still-
song should be played.
I'm glad. I'm really happy for Daddy Yankee though. Like he did like good shit, bro. Like
Yeah,
you
way to
actually
go.
did like pioneer this shit. So it's really cool that like Justin Bieber was like, I'm gonna collab with this motherfucker to like. That's
Dude.
how you do it the right way. That's like the Madonna approach, right? Where like you co-opt the movement and a sound, but you kind of do it in a way that's sort of like a transfer. In a way, it's like I'm also elevating the platform and like the
Yeah.
people who are like associated with it.
You're essentially
yeah.
Versus like a Drake who just suddenly was Caribbean in one song.
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
yeah.
I knew you died, oh I know.
Wait,
I
really?
knew one day. It's like, yeah, whoa, Drake.
I was like, wait, where did this go
What
from?
island are you from? Fucking Toronto.
Then he started saying ting.
Oh yeah, T.
Oh, yeah,
that
he
was
had a whole
real
album where
embarrassing.
He turned like, well, what's that like?
He wants to be like drill. He's like,
Yeah.
he raps like he's from the UK now, and it's
Which is okay. Who the fuck is taking UK rap seriously?
everyone.
Skepta.
No,
Oh,
so
my
that's the
God.
thing. It's because like as you said this, it's something that Nathan said years ago that I never really forgot. Where it's like hip hop is like a young man's game,
Yeah.
and boy, is he kind of right. Well, I feel like for most audiences though,
Absolutely.
there's kind of like a you obviously still like and you keep up with shit, but like not as much. It's just not as much. You
Dude,
kinda
that's
just,
why.
like, lean
Dude,
back.
that's why, man. People have been talking like men in their 30s have been talking so seriously about this little spat
About the
that these
beef?
fucking losers are
I
having.
know, I have no
like
idea
they're
what's going
fucking.
on.
These are 40-year-old men. These men have children and families.
They're
and
writing poetry at each other.
and they're that's I'm sorry, but like you look back at old rap beef, at least people were dying.
Thou
At
dost
least it was
not
fucking
jump as high as
interesting.
me.
Yeah, at least people were fucking like. At least there was like a sense of seriousness to it because it was some Wild West shit. People were really shooting up each other.
Thou
I'm
dost not pander thine songs as much as thy.
But guys,
I'm not saying you should murder each other. Don't get me wrong, but. These fucking who cares what the fuck Kendrick Lamar says about Drake? It's so pathetic.
you know how
like
you
these are
can-
just rich men having spats at each other, writing poetry at each other. Like that's what I'm saying. Rap is a young man's game because you know what the young people are doing. You look at these fucking drill rappers in New York; they're literally killing each other. They're going on social media and putting up death videos of one another. And I'm like, I'm not saying you should murder each other, but at least they have some like fucking actual dedication to the art. At least that's like compelling. Again, don't do it, but like I see that, and then you expect
Are
me
you
to give a
implying
shit
that
that
murder
Drake-
and violence is a foundational component of hip hop music? Jacob, Nathan.
I would say no, because like hip hop is originally like what you go back to the origins of hip hop and it's just party music.
Because I was gonna say
It's just fun party music.
but I feel like the concept of rapping is more like storytelling and like expressing, like self-expression, right?
Yeah.
But it's for like a very particular sphere of society that most mainstream audiences weren't like affiliated with or like or even associated with, so they didn't really know.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the appeal was like getting a portal into this world. So that's why the best rappers are the ones who are most able to like convey that.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, like what this lifestyle is that's been like sort of unheard from society for like a point in time. At
Oh
least,
wow,
right?
absolutely.
So like,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a
like,
great point.
It's a black thing, and it's also just like a poor thing. Like it's a socioeconomic thing, right? It's like
Yeah,
unfortunately, due to various circumstances, like it's just like black people are associated with being poor. A lot of black people are poor, right? And it's like not.
Yeah.
It's like not an accident, but like it's also it's just the fact of the matter. So it's kind of cool that like that's why like you get people in like Iowa who love rap music because like they're poor too, and there's like some semblance of like the same sort
poor
of
whites.
frustrations and shit.
That's
being
the
like,
one thing. The one thing
you're
the
just like
system
the poor whites,
is afraid
bro.
of. Like,
That's why
poor whites.
Kyle's
They
around
do
the world.
exist.
Kyle's around the world fucking love 3-6 Mafia.
It's true.
Or Kyle's around the world love like Nas and shit. Because it's like, yeah, you kind of get it too, bro. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of fucking mad, dude. I feel like I can't like get ahead and shit. And there's people out there who are like,
Yeah. But
better
that's
than
also
me
why
and, like,
I
shit.
think
I'm not accepted by like society.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not,
you think
not
that's
that,
why Eminem was ultimately accepted by black people as well? Or was Eminem accepted by black people? Or
I think it's because Eminem was actually a really good rapper.
yeah, it's true.
And I just think that he just shot it straight. I feel like, he never really like played it for like a thing. And I
Yeah.
feel like he's very self-aware. And then like part of what Eminem's career arc, like the reason it was his original initial run was so good is because you kind of see through his songwriting him becoming more self-aware to the extent where like in the Eminem show, which is like the like considered by the end of that run, he has that song like White America where he's basically just like making a joke of how like I'm white and I'm blue-eyed and I'm cute, so I'm able to fucking sell albums to like upper middle class white kids, basically. Yeah. Like I've invaded America. Like I'm influencing all of your youth now, basically, just because like I get away with rapping and like doing all this shit because I'm white. Pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
Eminem had a good run. I feel like it's weird that now he's like he's just like an old man, to your point. I just think they're in a weird spot though, because it's like, again, to your point, rap's a young man's game, and it's just like I feel like the main thing with young people that's so appealing with this genre is that like they just have a lot to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Passionate.
Like they're very
have
passionate.
a lot of passion.
They have a lot of passion.
And they do have a lot to say, and they don't fully understand the world around them. And part of what's interesting about them is the anguish from the confusion from not understanding.
Yeah, and to your point, like if you can't rap about violence if you don't see it, really. You know, it's not as authentic. And some of them do see it, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
And it comes through in their music, though. So like, and it's weird if there's a rapper who became famous for that, who's now 40 years old and has a wife and kids and has fucking, you know, passive income and shit. And it's just like retired, and to be like, I'm gonna kill people still.
That's why of all these major rappers, the one I've come to of all the people who truly made it big, the rapper who I've come to respect the most is 50 Cent, because one, the music that he did in his original run was pretty good. It's pretty catchy. It's not groundbreaking. It's not fucking like Nas. It's not deep.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, that fucking.
That's so weird.
That is one of the best debut albums.
But then you look at him now. Maybe 2-3 albums in, he's like, okay, I can no longer sell myself as the guy who like got shot. That's done. I'm gonna stop making music, and I'm just gonna be a cultural figure and like a businessman.
Yep.
And he's been hilarious the entire fucking time. Yeah. But he's never kept on this persona where he's like a thug. Like that had its moment and he's done. And now he's just on the Breakfast Club making fun of Nick Cannon. And it's some of the funniest fucking shit you'll ever hear.
You know what sucks, unfortunately? 50 Cent has a very bad relationship with one of his sons, apparently. But it's because like, and I guess you guys could probably tell if you saw, his son's a little bitch. Like he's like a rich kid, you know, and he's like really spoiled and stuff. So I feel like he just everything that 50 Cent would not want his son to be.
But what are you gonna do? You're 50 fucking Cent.
I know. I know.
What are you gonna do?
It sucks, man. It sucks.
What are you gonna like put him in, like kidnap him and put him in the middle of like the Bronx and like cut him off from all his money so he can become something? Like, no.
Do you ever
like,
fear
sorry,
that?
You're rich.
How do you see that with your relationship with your sons, Nathan?
Well, I grew up as a normal middle class Californian, and I'm gonna give that same upbringing to them. So it's like I would say that's one of my biggest fears for me personally. Is it your kids being, because like your kids are gonna be like half and well off.
They will be like 8 times better, like at least 4 times as like they would have like jumped up like 3 income brackets.
Yeah. Well, dude, for me, I'll be lucky if I get like 1 income bracket up. You know what I mean? Because my parents were homeowners in California.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so like I think it's actually something that it's weird. I didn't realize this till I was like dating another girl whose dad was basically like me in the sense where he like went through a bunch of shit, right? And then like was able to like make it, quote unquote, and then had a daughter who was just like born into like general wealth, and I think she felt like he like hated her for it.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because it's like, dude,
well, no, because that kid's fucking alien to you.
Fucking all that for you. Yeah,
there is like there's a part of me where like
that's what I'm really afraid of.
Yeah,
man.
like if I had kids, like I feel like I would want to like treat them the same way I grew up. So just like don't like buy anything for them and shit. And
I mean, just
like,
don't spoil them too much.
But it's hard because like, what if you? But you can.
But that's like the whole
see yourself
point.
in them, I would guess, right? It's just like, damn, dude, am I gonna say no? Like,
but yeah, like,
you know how good it feels to buy my kid toys.
You know how good it feels to buy Nathan's son's toys,
dude.
It's really cool.
Yeah, you just go and
bought
like
those
so
Nerf guns. I was
excited.
like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, man, dude, it's so sick.
And that's like the whole point to like get
he
like
loves
get a
that
better
Nerf
life.
gun, by the way.
Like,
We were just Kevin came
kids.
over and we were like having a Nerf war.
I gotta hook him up with some more shit.
Dude, just come. Dude, if you come, he'll love you forever if you play
Hell
with
yeah.
him. But the thing is, it's like I always felt that with my dad because my dad immigrated here when he was 13. He was poor as shit.
Shout out Theo Percy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
and like,
shout out
first of
Percy.
all, too, Percy is a hilarious name
Shout
for a
out
Latino
Officer
man.
Hernandez.
Yeah, I have no idea why they landed on Percy as the name of this
What's
Guatemalan
a
man.
badass name, bro?
I know, but it's like a chubby British man name. I don't know.
Percy.
Yeah, Percy. But he didn't know what the fuck to do with me because I was like, I grew into, by the time I was 13, the age that he immigrated here, I was just like a fat kid playing video games, watching X play.
Sure
you know?
was. Can't confirm.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. So it's like I got the sense it's like he just didn't know what to do with me, and at one point he just gave up. He was like, "Look, you're just gonna have to figure this out yourself. I have nothing. My life experience can do nothing for you." So at one point he just kind of like noped out, and I was like, I just had to figure it out. And
Like, what the fuck is... Yeah, Theo Percy was probably just like, what the fuck is Xbox?
yeah, I know. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
What the
Wait,
fuck
don't you want
is
to be
the
outside?
internet?
Don't you want to be outside playing soccer? And I'm like, no, I want to like be hobbled alone playing fucking RuneScape. Like,
What
it's
the
like,
fuck is the internet?
yeah, he had no basis. So I don't think I'm gonna have that problem with my kids because they're also gonna grow up like we're gonna be of the same culture.
I'll probably choke slam my kids at least once.
Yeah.
You have
Dude,
to.
I got you,
At
bro.
least
I got my kid in
If a kid grew up like this,
At least once, bro.
like he's gonna be a little bitch. in my
Every
opinion.
now and then you throw your Xbox controller, you know?
He
That's
doesn't-
why,
But I'll also, I know I gotta remember that I need to perceive that as like generally a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like this fool's empathetic. You can like you don't need to have your emotions like blunted at a young age and shit where you can only like live off anger and like frustration. That's probably a good thing.
It's a very
Yeah.
good thing.
I'm actually
yeah.
glad that you can express when you're afraid of something and feel safe to do so.
Oh, yeah. That's one
like,
thing
good
I
shit,
like,
bro. All right, yeah.
Dude, both me and Sarah, we both proud. I'm very
You know how
proud
much
of
it
both of
sucks
us.
to be
Like,
afraid and not have anyone like listen or like
dude,
take it
no, dude,
seriously.
we like
It's
every
fucking
single emotion my
sucks.
sons feel, like they can express it. We never shame them. That's a
Yeah.
pretty open
Are
environment.
you gonna, wait, this is maybe a personal question. Are you gonna have kids?
Shit, probably.
Yeah.
What else am I gonna
I
do?
still don't know, but like part of me
I don't know
wants
either.
to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Part of me wants to because I'm like, well, I feel like I'd be like pretty good, and I feel like I
Yeah, I
don't
think you
want
guys
to waste
both be good
that.
dads. I think the question will answer itself once the right woman comes into your life, because I think they're gonna be like, well,
And you
are
just
we?
cannot.
And you're gonna love this girl, and you're gonna be like, well, why the fuck not? There has to be a real reason why you won't.
What if she's short?
Oh, that's a good one. I made that
Even
mistake.
better.
Both my sons are probably gonna be short. Sarah's
I don't
fucking
think
5.
so.
Dude, Sarah, like my son is in like the 3rd percentile for height. Like, cause we took him
Already?
to the doctor. Yeah. He's super short, dude. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
oh fuck, like, because Sarah's like, dude, because Sarah's like 5'2". She's hella small.
How old is
Her
she?
small womb could only grow such a
No,
child.
there's no way though, because your mom's pretty tall.
My mom is like 5'6", 5'7",
That's
which is normal
solid,
height.
bro. That's
My
solid.
brother's 5'7", my dad's 5'4". Both her parents are kind of on the shorter side, so there's a good chance that the kids are gonna be like 5'6", 5'7", which kind of bumps me out. But
Fuck.
I know it's gonna be
Man.
rough. But thankfully they're both good looking, so you know.
But the
maybe
thing
they'll just
is,
marry Asian women who are short.
like,
and just keep the short
just
train going.
stay around. Stay in California, bro.
Yeah.
But
You'll
what's
be
interesting,
fine.
and maybe this is obvious, but like the relative of like how strong a tall gene is in a girl is obviously different, right? Like a short girl
They
can
have
have
less
a
of an
boy.
influence on the height.
Yeah,
Or it's more just about like like my mom is like 5'10", which is tall for a woman.
that's very
Jesus.
tall for a girl.
It's
yeah.
tall for a girl, but I was still fucking 5 inches taller than her.
Yeah, of course.
Or maybe she's 5'9", so that's like 6
Wait,
inches.
so yeah, you're describing what Nathan's afraid of.
Yeah,
basically, is what
exactly.
you're saying.
She had a
You're saying
tall,
that, like,
large
your
womb
height
that
is-
could grow a
is,
large
like-
child.
Yeah. And like
Oh.
you,
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, and your wife's super short.
My
Wait.
wife is fucking 5'2".
But the
No,
thing
that's,
though-
that's my
no.
problem though. Is I'm into like chicks that height.
Dude, yeah,
it
So
so
I'm
doesn't
gonna
matter though
fuck
because
my
you got
tallness.
height to give though.
Yeah, but like it's gonna average out to like a fucking
I don't think it will.
5'10"
I don't think
beta
it will.
cuck.
No, I don't
true,
think
yeah.
it will.
Like you.
5'10". 5'10" is the god height. Okay, it's the perfect height.
Dude, I always
if you're
I feel
5'10",
like,
you'll
I
inherit
feel like
the
about
hormones.
every 3 months I ask Shane, "Are you 6 feet tall?" And he's like, "No," but people think I am. It's because he exudes such confidence. So
Everyone
you're just
thinks I'm
like,
6
he
feet
must be
tall.
6
You're
feet
also
tall.
close enough. I also always wear boots, so I'm basically 6 feet tall. But
I just have huge balls.
yeah, hey,
So-
that's all you need.
This
That's
man
all you
wears
need,
platforms.
man.
He just admitted it.
Yeah. Hey, boots
Nathan
say,
wears
boots say.
platform. No, it's true because okay,
Like
okay.
those Robert Downey
yeah, I had a
Jr.
friend in
Robert Downey Jr.
undergrad from one of my roommates in undergrad, Abel. Shout out Abel wherever you are. Abel from Ethiopia.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
I lived
cool
in
guy,
Abel
real
Hall.
cool guy,
I
real
thought you were
cool
talking about a
guy.
building.
Yeah. So
tell you something about Ethiopia. Oh, yeah, that's not even an Ethiopian accent.
Jesus Christ.
Ethiopia.
No. But at one
Ethiopian
point he
pussy's
started
different,
wearing
by the way.
boots, right? He started wearing boots whenever he went out, and I didn't know. I was like, damn, Mabel fucking got pretty tall. Like, I guess he's fucking eating good now. Finally, it's like we were like after we just graduated, though, so we started working again. Basically, like all of us were malnourished in college just because like we were poor.
Yeah, of course.
But like actually poor, people like joke around like, oh my god, dude, that shit's so annoying. People cosplay being poor in fucking college. Like, dude, they're like, oh, like I have to eat top ramen. It's like, bro, it's a choice. This is your snack. Like you eat top ramen as like a snack.
Dude, people do cosplay
while your
being
parents
poor
pay
in
your
college.
fucking rent.
Yeah, just shut
People's
up.
parents pay their rent in college.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah,
and
of course.
you know what? No, but like
That's
it's,
good.
it's a normal thing.
You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
good
But,
for you. I'm
but
glad
like,
you had that.
even though I'd want to do that for my kid, I'm still resentful of them.
But yeah, do you realize how fucking insane that is?
Hey, man.
Imagine how insane it is to be in college and not have that. You know what I'm saying? Is what I'm saying is like the people who don't have that. Shout out kids on financial aid. Hey, we hear you out there. Hey, shout out FAFSA. Shout out FAFSA.
How much was your rent in college?
Well, in Santa Barbara, it's pretty expensive. So like, I think each of us ended up paying like we were sharing rooms. To share a room, it was like $1,300
Just
or
you?
something like that. Yeah.
Damn, I paid $325.
Actually, no,
a
it
month.
wasn't. No way. That's
Jeez.
insane. No, we paid.
So that's
we
a
paid
little
like
easier than
$650.
that.
It was like $650.
$650?
Wait, $650
Okay.
each?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wow,
that's
man.
like that for me.
It's a
like
lot for a college kid.
for me in
Yeah.
college, that was like the luxury option was $650.
Dude, but some people were like, yeah, because like we had like the budget option basically. Like that was
Yeah.
like our budget option.
My budget
budget
option was
option was
my budget option
$600.
was
We paid
like straight up
I think
half
one
that.
year we paid $530, and that was to live far as shit from like all
Yeah.
the parties and stuff. Not that far, but like pretty far.
Yeah, far. Yeah.
Far enough.
I lived
Far
in,
enough where like you
For someone
noticed
to be
it.
like, where do you live? I'm like, oh, here. Like
Dude.
you send a girl their address. They're like, oh, I'm like, you'd be like, slide through, baby. And you send a text, and they're like, damn, you're far.
dude, it's so funny.
You better get walking. That's my
when I
response.
paid $325, I lived in like the ghettos of Lincoln, Nebraska, which to me at the time was like, oh shit. And
I
now
bet that
in
place sucks.
no, it does suck, but in hindsight, I'm like, I was scared of these fools. The fuck?
Maybe you should have been at the time.
No. I mean, I don't. I guess at the time, but in hindsight, it's just like.
Okay, so wait, going back to the diss thing, this is the next topic we had for today. So Drake, speaking of men and their squabbles with poetry, Drake did a diss track towards Kendrick Lamar using AI voices of Tupac Shakur,
Really?
who, as we all know, is deceased. Shout out Tupac. Rest in peace, Tupac. As deceased. And Snoop Dogg, who is not dead. so AI voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg
Whoa.
to diss Kendrick Lamar on a song.
Yeah, that's worse than 2 dead people.
So, but it's just like,
somehow,
like I don't, bro, like who? What are you doing?
It's weird to
That's
admit
like
that
so
you used
like
AI.
necrophilic. Right? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like, it's like
weird.
mildly necrophilic.
Well, I guess you would have to have Tupac. So there's no admitting it. You just know that he did that.
Yeah,
by
no,
hearing it.
100%. Yeah, and it's like on purpose to like taunt Kendrick Lamar, but it's just like,
What's
bro,
where's the
you
taunt?
resurrecting Tupac because Tupac, there's
Everyone's saying Kendrick Lamar is like
essentially
cosplaying
on
Tupac or what?
on To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar is having a conversation with Tupac throughout the album. Yeah,
I
and there's a
see.
clip of Tupac that's played at the end that's like directed towards like, whatever. There's like a established relationship between the two, right? They're
Yeah.
like California rappers, whatever. They're all poetic and shit. Their poetry is more poetry than the other poets.
Yeah. and Drake is basically a jock who like doesn't get it. No,
Yeah, Drake is like the high
He's like,
school
"You
guy. He's
fucking
the high
loser."
school bully who drives like a fucking Charger and shit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
yeah, he's like
He like
"Oh,
rides
you
all
like
the trends.
Tupac,
He's
huh?"
like that douche in high school, he rides all the trends and stuff. He's just like totally dick riding like the free market.
Man.
Just like whatever's popular, do whatever you want. How about
think-
this a little 1 foot slide, left foot slide, 1 foot slide. It's just like, dude, you're a fucking minstrel, bro. You're a weirdo.
Dude,
Like,
yeah. I think that's one, of
you're
course,
a weird creature.
that's in very poor taste, but I still think it's really funny because part of that Drake diss is like he brings up the fact that Kendrick Lamar's wife cheated on him with a bodyguard.
Jesus.
Yeah, but to me, it's funny in that like
That
we're
one's
at the
gotta
level of
Breaking
rapping.
news, Kendrick Lamar
This
got-
is indistinguishable from like the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like it's no more serious than that.
That's
People are treating this like it's such a big, like it's a really important thing,
This
but it is
man, Nathan,
no
came to play
different.
today. ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
no different than the Real Housewives. It's like, okay, it's like I keep coming back to again what we were talking about earlier. It's like who cares? Basically,
Right,
I don't
right.
care about Drake's music. If I'm being real, I really don't care about Kendrick Lamar's music anymore because I had a time when I did. Now I
care
have
about-
the only hip hop.
like
I don't care.
about,
Same thing with J. Cole. I don't care.
What?
I don't care about any of their music
Okay,
anymore.
That's fair.
Personally, just me in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
So the fact that they're squabbling over
Because you have a family and shit, right? You got like better things to do.
Wait, but-
It's not
you
even
know-
that. I'm just not invested anymore in the same way I used to be.
Right.
The same way it's just like, like I don't feel the same way when I watch Pulp Fiction. You know what I mean?
What?
Like it doesn't hit the
Get
same
outta
way.
here, bro.
It doesn't hit the same way. I
Never.
tried in the midst of all of this.
Never. I've seen Pulp Fiction like 100 times. I
Okay,
don't
it's
care.
great, but it doesn't hit me the same way
Right.
that I did it
Right.
did when I'm 21.
Well, you used to get your dick hard before, you know.
Yeah, I
now,
used to get
now
my
it
dick
just,
real
now it
hard.
just gets me excited.
Now
Yeah.
nothing gets my dick hard.
You know,
nothing.
you
It's
know you
causing
should be.
horrendous problems in my marriage.
Sorry to hear.
But so I tried re-listening to the latest Kendrick Lamar album because I didn't really give it a good shake, and it's not good. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like that latest Kendrick album. I tried going back and listening to Good Kid, Mad City, and it was fine, but it didn't, obviously the same way about like watching Pulp Fiction again. It just didn't really hit. And then the only one that really stood up was To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Which
Yeah.
is a piece of art and it's great, but it's also I don't find myself gravitating towards hip hop
Yeah,
that
I
much
think
anymore. for
Kendrick
listening
Lamar is pretty
experience.
bad. My top rappers are Logic, Eminem, Machine Gun Kelly,
Vanilla Ice.
Mac Miller.
Me and oh my god, me and Sarah
Shout
have
out
a
Mac
joke.
Miller.
Shout out white rappers.
Me and
Shout
Sarah
out
have a
Mac
joke about Logic, where we just like Logic like a rap fast, but a bad. Like, like Logic's whole appeal was like, yeah, I be watching Rick and Morty, and sometimes I be rapping real fast.
Yo, he
like,
literally has a collab with that TV show.
Oh my god, and he's
Dude, that fool
also
got bullied out of rapping.
he
on
got
Twitter.
bullied out of because of
He
J.
got
Cole.
Twitter.
too.
He got
Logic?
cyber bullied out
He
of
got
rapping.
cyber bullied out of it. He
What
said
was
he
it? Was
gave
it a
up.
specific
Because
tweet or
everyone makes
just?
fun of like that. Like,
Yeah,
he's just
because
like-
you're fucking corny.
and that he
is
talks
corny.
about being mixed race so much too. It's like,
He
bro,
does.
shut
Okay,
up.
first of
It's
all,
like, guys,
I'm
just so
more
you know,
black
I'm
than
black.
fucking Logic. You look at Logic, there's not an ounce of that guy that looks black.
I've seen
in
Nathan
the
dance.
slightest.
Can't confirm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen you on the dance floor. Can't confirm.
Yeah.
This guy's got some soul.
Yeah. I'm more black than fucking Logic. That's all he fucking talks about. Like, oh, I'm biracial. You know what? I'm biracial too. I don't make it that much part of my identity.
Yeah,
There's a
Logic.
white,
Shut up.
NBA player that's
But you know-
totally
You
black.
know what? You know what? Well, we need to find a term for like an anti shout out. What's like a non shout out? Like Jesus Christ.
Reverse
Trying to
of
be on the
shout
airwaves
out.
or not?
Reverse
Jacob,
of
edit
shout
that out.
out
Wait,
would
hold
be
on.
like-
Producers note. Edit that. Edit out Nathan's.
You can try to edit out as much as you like, but we're coming.
We're
We're rising from the
nines.
ashes.
Shout out Rise again.
Shout out Robert Ely.
Shout out Daryl Dimebag.
Shout out Abraham Lincoln.
Shout out
I like both
shout out
sides.
Pantera.
Hey, but anyway,
Shout out
I'm
1860 Civil War.
Logic.
Hey, remember that video of Iggy Azalea doing basically that? She's
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
like,
Little, I know it's not the same, but Logic and Little Dicky are basically the same person to me.
Dude,
Like,
don't tell Little Dicky.
I
His
don't-
house- Jacob loves Little Dicky.
You love Little Dicky?
Yeah, dude, I do.
He loves
I've done it well before.
He likes his
Oh
little
my God.
shtick, his little.
I like the idea of putting jokes into music.
People hate Logic because he's corny, right? But at least to me, he's sincere at the very least. Drake is not.
True.
A lot of these
True,
mainstream,
true.
like
You're
how
right,
sincere
you're right,
is
you're right.
Future,
You're
but
right.
it doesn't
I don't
matter
wanna
because it's
live, I
also
just
just
wanna
party
die.
music.
Yeah, you're right. Because like and I found myself doing this more as I got older, where I just give them credit for like their authenticity, like they're
Yeah.
trying. Like at least you try, bro.
I
Like,
mean,
fuck,
when he
man.
when
You
he
had something- you had
performed,
something to say.
honestly, when he performed,
You
it's
know,
like
you're trying to get something across.
You can think
from your
the
heart.
songs for like high
There you go.
schoolers, but when he performed that like suicide like prevention line song at the Grammys, it was kind of sick.
Yeah, but it
Wait,
also made me want to kill myself.
Wait, I thought that was like.
Logic.
It's like he has a song that's like 1877.
There's
It's like
Logic
suicide
and like
horror.
Khaled and some chick.
You know my favorite part? Okay, that was
It's
very
pretty
positive,
sick.
but like my favorite.
Shout out female rapper.
I don't know.
Shut up,
No, it's
it's
not
some
rappers.
fucking-
They're
no,
singers.
So you're right. Like that's cool that he did that because he brought like exposure to that. But Man, that song sucks.
Yeah, it's really
I
bad.
just like the performance.
I just
It's,
want to
it's
die.
not
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's not
Kimberly.
good.
Woo! It's just
Oh
like,
my gosh,
Jesus
shut up.
Christ.
Kimberly.
Well, that's okay.
That's
So-
basically just like that's like straight up on the nose pandering.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
It
you're
really
right,
is.
you're right.
It
Yeah,
really is.
There's
It's
a
a menstrual
tiny part of it
show
I
for
like,
people who are
and then it's
suicidal.
like he
You
just
put
ruins
your right
it.
foot in
It's
it,
the-
and you shake it all
it's the-
about.
it's
You do
the-
hokey pokey. Yeah, seriously, this song's about suicide. Do not do it.
Okay, but
Shut
it's also just like
Shout
to
out
me,
mental health awareness month.
it's logic is it's an archetype of it's the therapized male.
Dork.
Yeah, but it's the archetype that you see a lot now. It's the male that's been through therapy and speaks in therapy languages, but still uses
Dude.
but
Yeah, he does
instead
speak
of
in therapy
but uses
language.
the therapy language to manipulate women and doesn't use it.
No,
to
but I feel like, but I think a lot of people do that these days, and it's
They
very
do,
unsettling.
yeah.
I think sometimes talking to people about relationships and shit is like it feels like a fucking HR conversation sometimes.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know, because they're very like
Yeah.
they're very
Like,
careful
it's
about
too
the
clinical.
language.
It's just like, bro, like.
Especially once you get to like
Okay,
around.
you gotta escape this like neoliberal fucking like upper middle class
Yeah. What
happened was-
hellscape mentality that you're trapped in.
so we
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Everyone has to fit within this like little box.
Well, and
basically,
I
right?
feel like they
Using
take, like,
stupid
all-
frameworks to like fucking communicate with somebody. Like, how do you expect to get close to someone if you're talking to them like you're taking them through a form?
yeah,
like
it
your
takes
HR
all
speak,
emotion out
yeah.
of it. It's just like
No,
like
it's again, it's what we talked about on the last episode too, where people are devoid of culture and connection, and like people are devoid of like spirituality because we have to talk in those terms because that's the only lingua franca left. That's the only way to actually communicate effectively because we don't connect on a real spiritual level. We have to do HR speak.
Yeah,
because that's the
we're not-
only way that we can
But do you
communicate.
think that has to do with just like I think a lot of times where it's described that therapy is sort of like one of those things that it's like the Matrix in a sense where it's also part of the machine in a way to like placate you essentially,
Yeah,
like as
yeah.
as a cog in the machine and not
Yeah.
really
It's to
question.
make you a more
it basically like
effective worker.
smooths out like the scent, right? And I
Yeah.
do think that's very positive for a lot of people to become aware of like what's been like maybe like it does help people like discover some like dark past and shit. But I do think that like if someone else is able to be in tune with themselves and become in tune with themselves using other means, then like leave them alone, you know?
Yeah.
Like, leave it alone. Like, I feel like people are just so like weird about prescriptive about therapy where it's like everyone needs to have gone to therapy or they put on their dating
Oh, yeah.
profiles
Oh
to
my
be
God,
cheeky
that's
where
the
it's
worst.
like
That's
I like men who have
those-
gone to therapy and it's like bro
Shut
like
up.
because
Bitch.
those people actually aren't in tune themselves. That's why they have to continue to go to therapy. They never stop. Whereas some
Yeah,
people actually
yeah.
like learn something,
Shit.
and that's why everything's so non-emotional with them because they have to be thinking about the steps because it's not second nature to them.
Yeah,
They're just repeating
and
what
which is
they
a
hear
rough
at
place to
therapy.
be.
And it's true,
If
it's
you're
like-
like that, sorry.
Dude, I was listening to this
Sounds
song
like it
earlier
sucks.
by Steppenwolf. Shout out Steppenwolf, one of the earlier
can
pioneers of
relate.
heavy metal. There's a song that they made called "The Pusher," where it's basically just saying that, like, you know, drugs are this and that, and I've done this and that, but always fuck the guy selling the drugs. And I feel kind of that way about like therapy too, in a sense, right? Where you think about like who therapists are, and like now that I'm old enough to know who are who people who are therapists and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like people who are into that like institution and are willing to like uphold it and stuff and like not be very critical of it are like a type of person, right? That they're just like a sort of like it's one of those things like they too are cogs in the machine. So it's just like
Yeah.
I don't fucking trust her. Like,
Dude,
fuck
I don't
you
trust you either.
guys,
I think
bro.
that's why the alternative therapy scene has exploded. That's why there's more. We talked about it last time. Like you talk to those people who do
those
like
alpha male camps.
not that,
Dude,
Jesus.
those
I
are
mean, how's that
hilarious.
different, though?
I meant like
Those are
positive alternative
hilarious,
therapy,
though.
like
How's that
somatic dance, like somatic
Oh, got you,
experiences,
got you. Yeah,
that sort of
yeah.
stuff. Where it's not you're like because like there's really only so much you can get out of sitting down and talking about your problems.
Those that you're
and
talking
eventually
about-
it gets to the point where you're just feeding your own narcissism.
Especially,
talking
yeah,
about yourself.
exactly. And it's speaking of someone who's not your fucking friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they
They're
don't even
not-
know you,
Dude, you're-
bro.
it's
It's
a
such a weird,
prostitute.
like, contained, like, relationship. Ugh. Is that what you need to like talk about your fucking feelings and express yourself with somebody? Is,
Man,
like, you have to like do it to a
I have
stranger.
I have a friend that was like that. He's what we would consider an incel, right? Just like kind of ugly, not very charismatic.
Can't
like
relate.
has an okay.
I cannot relate to that one.
Yeah, has an
Who
okay
can
job.
relate?
And he was telling me like
He's a
he was
perfect
telling
victim
me
of these alpha male camps.
exactly. But it's like he was telling me like, hey, I've been going to therapy for like 3 years and we were talking about it, and I thought like, dude, you know what would benefit this fool more? We give him a gift certificate, $200, and we just get him a fucking hooker. I feel like he would get more out of that than sitting down and talking about how shitty his mom was to him for the 10,000th fucking time to the third therapist in like 2 years. Like, just go do literally anything else. Literally anything else.
Yeah,
Stop
so
talking about yourself.
Yeah, I think what we're getting to, yeah, exactly. It's getting to the point where it's like, if it doesn't become action oriented, then like, bro.
Yeah, and that action for him is go to a high quality call girl. I don't give a fuck.
What? And sometimes, yeah, another thing too that bothers me when like people talk about like improving and getting better, like as like a person or whatever. First of all, that's weird. Like again, neoliberal like speak where it's like improve. Like, what am I, fucking machine? Like,
Yeah, dude. What do you mean?
I could be a little nicer. Yeah, okay, maybe a little more appreciative.
1% better every
Why
day.
do you gotta phrase it?
No, because that's what happens when people are devoid of culture and people are devoid of connection. Is like the only thing they can do is self-optimize.
Shout out losers.
Yeah, exactly. But like what you should be is like, how can I be a better friend to Jake? How can I be a better brother to like my brother? How can I be within this community in a way that enriches others? Yeah. And like in a way that like puts them in a position where they want to enrich me. How can I feed into this?
And it can be so simple. It's just like, let me just call this fool and see what's up.
Exactly. Simple as that.
But like, no, we gotta like go to like.
Although if either one of you ever sent me a check-in text, I'd be like.
But we're saying though, there should be an end point, right? It can help you discover these things. And at some point, you gotta do something about it. But what I was getting at is that I think like when people talk about like improving as a quote unquote, where it's like, people overlook the fact that like sometimes improving or like being better at X is just doing less of something. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to like do more stuff. I read this book about that actually, where it's just like saying like, dude, if people perceive you a certain way and you don't want to be perceived the way anymore, it's like not about doing more stuff. It's just do something less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but I feel like for some people who are kind of trained to think about like, to your point, like make number go up, like more is good essentially, where it's like, no, you have to be like,
1% better every day.
Instead of like,
I saw that shirt the other day. I was like,
better
I just was like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Where it's like, yeah, like
he looked like he started at like negative percentages because he's been on this earth a while.
You're climbing your way out of that hole, my
good.
friend. 1% better every day. So in like 5 years, it'll be at 3%. Poor guy.
Shout out, guy.
What is there something? What's next on the docket?
Okay. So there's a Business Insider, another article. More young men are. It's talking about how there's been a rise in gambling. A lot of men are spending a larger proportion of their money now on gambling, essentially sports betting, right?
I mean, yeah, it's legal.
The new big, the big new way to get rich. Target bored young men who want to make a fortune. I mean, if you gamble in America these days, you have more ways to put your money on the line than ever.
That has always been the case. Now it's just like a lot easier now.
But I think though, I feel like what they're touching on though is that's kind of like, that's not a good thing, man. You know
Obviously,
what I'm saying?
No,
this shit fucking destroys people, and I feel like people need to take this shit seriously. Like it's like equivalent of like fucking like saying, oh, we can just like make like now you can just buy meth at a store. You know what I'm saying? I functionally see it in terms of the outcomes and what it brings people to. I see them as very similar things.
Like, what did you think was going to happen?
That shit will fucking destroy you,
guess
bro.
what? Guess
you
what?
Can buy
what
meth
if,
at the
like,
store?
okay, like,
no, I'm saying it's equivalent as if meth were legal in terms of like gambling.
Any fucking child, anyone with a child's brain could have seen the outcome of this. Like, hey, you know, like, what could increase the negative things that come out of gambling? Making it more available. Like, what if there were, like, what did you think was going to happen if you opened up this addictive pathway in more areas in people's lives? This is the only thing that could have happened from it. And they knew it every step of the way. The NBA facilitating bets on live games, fucking satanic.
Yep.
Any sports league doing that, the fact that they let DraftKings be advertised on every single game and every single podcast out there, fucking satanic.
And then they all,
You're right. No, it's literally
report,
like a Faustian bargain. Like it's really a deal with the devil. Like,
and then they all report on that Jonte Porter shit.
Sure, dude.
Like he's the devil. And it's like, guys, you perpetuated this.
You fed into this. You fed into this. Exactly. Yeah. And it's the same thing. It's just like, what did you think was going to happen like in 1920 when like we we allowed people to advertise cigarettes on like every billboard available, and like in 1960s when we let the fucking Flintstones smoke on TV. And what did you think was going to happen? More people were going to smoke, and the negative consequences of that action were going to be spread further and further and further, and only made it worse.
And it's the invaded meme culture too, right? It's funny to joke about, but there's so many more memes now about gambling and like how being addicted to gambling is funny, and like, dude, there's kids now who are gonna like, it's crazy because I feel like the way that they're able to get this through, like one of the ways culturally at least, is that like it's kind of like a Trojan horse in the sense where if you go against it, and it's probably one of the things that we're gonna have to grapple with as we age, where it's like, if you go against it, you're just not being progressive. You know, like you're being old thinking, right?
You'd be labeled as a Luddite.
I was
or
thinking about this recently.
reactionary.
How there's this mentality, right? And I feel like it's kind of come crashing down like within the tech industry with like this arrogance, where it's like the old way of doing things was just like they just weren't like thinking of it like clearly or like creatively enough, right? And it's like no, maybe it was for a fucking reason.
Yeah. It's Lindy.
Like you're being so arrogant towards
been...
like people who are like just as capable as we were doing, like making the best decisions they could at that time.
Did
right?
you guys at
like,
any point like get into like
before they were whores to the fucking free market and they actually wanted to do things like responsibly? And it's crazy to fucking even say that and be like, because I consider myself very like leftist, right? I'm very progressive socially generally, but like I think that like that we're seeing it now how that can be hijacked for something like gambling, right? Where it's like
did any
now,
part
now
of
sports gambling is fucking legal and now more people make money off it again. It's very neoliberal.
There's things called meme stocks that people will just put a bunch of money in.
Yeah, of course.
Just because they think it like they take no fucking research other than everyone on this website.
No, everyone like Wall Street bets on Reddit
the selection
or whatever.
bias, though, where it's like you know, like, okay, I actually have a friend. One of my old roommates, Alvin Chow. Shout out Alvin Chow. Was in a fucking Netflix documentary because he is now a millionaire because of GameStop stock.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Shout out Alvin.
Wait, he was part of that?
Dog. Fuck yeah, bro.
Damn,
nice.
dude.
This
Good for him.
motherfucker is badass, dude. And it was crazy because like I was sharing a room with him when we started working at Oracle and shit. And I was fuck about it. And it's pretty tight, dude. It's pretty cool. But the thing is, like, you hear about an Alvin Chow and like a lot of other people do now. They're fucking just making huge bets on the stock market now, right? Which is essentially also gambling.
Yeah,
it's definitely gambling. I did it for like 2 years.
I think that
and people say it, and it's not a tongue-in-cheek thing though. It's like, bro, take this shit fucking seriously.
No, it's real. And you know what? It's
You know what I
actually
mean? Like, fuck,
you
man.
dig in a little bit more on this, and it really shows you just how hopeless people are. Like the only way out of
For
this
real,
is
right?
a scam.
So
Yeah,
have
I
you
know,
guys,
straight up.
We have to scam our way out of this because all the legitimate paths outside of this fucking hellhole
It's-
have
Right.
been plugged.
well, for a lot of people,
homie.
it's like
Shit.
old people with the lottery. There's a reason old people play a lot of roulette and stuff because they don't have time. Basically, so that's why old people will cash their social security checks and go to the casino and just because they don't have time. And for a lot of people, they're gambling. No, I'm not kidding.
Christ, what that? I'm
not kidding.
You know that movie
That's why they're
Spirited Away,
gambling
where
big.
like the main character's parents get turned into fucking pigs.
Yeah.
That's what makes you think of it.
Yeah.
And then Christ, you sludge
these
ball.
people are like,
Go to church. Jesus Christ. Are you serious?
You need some. You need something.
I don't know what's
Basically
happened to
saying
me since I
it's
turned
just
30. I
like
feel like
desperation.
I think it's just once you go through life a bit and you kind of see things, you're just like, sometimes you're just like, bro, like that sounds so curmudgeonly of me, you know? But it's like, no, I feel like a very like youthful response would be like, well, let them do what they want. If they're doing what they want, it's like,
I
will not let another like my fellow man just suffer like that.
Yeah.
Like unbeknownst to them.
let
Like,
people have
fuck
fun.
That ideology
Hell
is
no.
directly tied to this current state of affairs that we're in now,
like, take
where
some
we have no
fucking
connection.
accountability and, like, your
and
fellow,
there's no
like,
accountability
human.
for your fellow man. There's no brotherhood. There's no fraternity. Let people have fun. Like, no, these people are killing themselves.
you hold to a fucking high standard.
You take that to the fucking extreme and let people have fun, and then all of a sudden you're slumped over on 9th and Mission,
exactly.
bent over, shitting your pants. Yeah, because we let you have fun.
dude, in
Because we
Lincoln-
let people do what they wanted.
Yep.
in Lincoln, Nebraska, where
No
I
one
went to
ever fucking
college,
held you to a higher standard.
No,
basically.
nothing. No, go on fucking DraftKings. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
you-
Cash in that iTunes gift card that
Yeah,
your grandma
bro.
gave you 20 years ago or
Yeah,
whatever,
bro.
and
Have
fucking
you
just bet on.
guys ever used Robinhood, the app?
No.
No.
I never
I
commercialized.
only buy ETFs.
Yeah, same.
I did.
I only do that
after-
because of you. You were the one who told me
after
to.
college, I had a-
Okay. And have you checked? Did you wait? This was years ago, right? When I told you to do that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's great
Have
now.
you checked it?
Yeah, it's grown. It's fine. You're doing good.
Dude, me too. I was like,
good.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, how much is it up?
Just
never mind.
ETFs. It's just like
kind
it's just
of
as much as it's
yeah.
commensurate to the stock market
Yeah.
because that's what we
Yeah.
invest in.
But sorry,
But there
I
was a
asked-
period of about like a year and a half where I'm like, I'm never looking at this thing.
I
It's
asked
pretty
because
depressing.
Hey,
on
shout out
Robin-
Rest Invest, baby.
I asked if you use it
Shout
on
out long-term investment strategies.
on
Yeah.
Robinhood. If you trade options right when the market opens, they're all worth $1 for some reason.
reason. It's like a weird like software thing where like if you put your entire account into options, it used to be like this where it opens right away and all of a sudden like maybe your $10,000 account is $0 and it looks like you lost everything, and then the market prices start coming in and it's like fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, a guy had 200K of options in Robinhood. He lived in Lincoln, Nebraska. He like went to UNL, and then he opened his phone in the morning and it said 0. So
what's UNL? Sorry.
University of Nebraska Lincoln. And he opened his phone.
And like, shout out Cornhuskers.
Shout out Cornhuskers. And shout out this fool. He was a Cornhusker. And then he saw that his $200,000 was like gone because of some glitch.
Oh, no.
And he just was like, fuck. And I guess he closed the app and didn't recheck it later. And he killed himself.
Damn.
Shit. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Like, that's what it leads to. That's what you're saying. Like, you can't just let them have fun because that can happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
that sounds like a
is
software
20.
error that I could have been.
Dude, what?
The engineering
but when you're 20, you don't have. If I thought I lost 200K at 20 years
like,
old,
no one who's fucking
God.
like, no one who's like, I just don't know why like people this young are fucking day trading, bro. Like, what do you think you know? Like, what could you possibly?
for
Do you
real.
have any fucking idea how efficient this shit is? Do you have any?
Okay,
do you have
like,
any idea
the one
retail
thing-
stock market that crashed
It
once?
is
Do you
just
have any
as
idea
good.
how much fucking thought put
It
into making
is-
this shit as efficient as possible?
It is just as good of an idea to quit your job and just start sports gambling.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's dumb.
You have the same amount of chance at success.
And
Also-
yeah, maybe every once in a blue moon, someone's gonna make a lot of fucking
Yeah.
money off. But guess what?
It all evens out.
It's not gonna be you, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Someone's buying.
You are a sacrifice at the altar
for
of
every
whatever-
every single trade.
Yeah.
There is someone on the losing
You are
end.
the sacrifice
Yeah, of course.
for it.
Well,
you are
that's
the
the thing.
tribute to
The
them.
one thing that I don't think gets called out enough too is how brutally anti-capitalist the stock market is. Because like true capitalism is you invest in things that are generating profit, but if it's stock market capitalism, it's like you're just speculating. You're speculating on the future profitability.
Well, that's free market capitalism.
I know,
baby.
but like that, it's
You talking shit on the free market? I just watched a big documentary about
market's
Russia,
bullshit.
so I'm
You're right,
very
no, but, like,
paranoid to communism right
because-
now.
Hey,
because-
shout out Vladimir Putin.
We're in
I support
we're in
you
late
fully
stage
in your
capitalism.
crusade
We're
against
talking about late
Ukrainian
stage
dogs.
capitalism, right? Where
Yeah.
it's
I
like,
love that subreddit.
we like far. Wait, what?
It's just called late stage capitalism. It's just
Were-
like an
were you
example of it.
What?
Wait, there's subreddit late
Oh,
stage.
you don't like capitalism.
Late stage
Nathan,
capitalism.
anti-capitalist.
No, it's late stage
No,
capitalism. where you
I'm
just
saying
like
the stock market is anti-capitalist.
Oh.
Yeah,
because it's so speculative. But it
Yeah,
wasn't
I mean,
always
it's-
that way though.
You know, it was not always that
Well,
way.
the
It
idea
could've
was that
been.
everyone would benefit. It's like a capitalistic way
It's very
to.
no. It made it to a point. Like it's at a point now where it's so accelerated that it's not. It doesn't really resemble.
Yeah.
Like
No, like the
rational
numbers.
capitalism.
Yeah, the numbers on.
It's so corroded.
Yeah, it's so devoid
Yeah.
of any relationship between
zombie.
the actual thing
Right.
that the
Three
the
kids
companies
stacked
are
on
doing.
top of each other wearing a trench coat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's capitalism right now.
That's basically what it is.
The free
It
market
started
right now
as
is
the
three
most.
kids. It's so like fluffy now, you know, because
Yeah.
it's so speculative
Well,
and
like
it's so
at the
based on
time,
like
it started as the most like progressive, like capitalistic idea, and now it's just now
that
it's just a
everyone
fucking
can
casino.
like the common people could collectively have ownership over
'cause
like these
it's
major
late stage.
corporations.
It's
Right,
just
they
too-
were trying to
But then
open
it
up
never
access,
actually
basically.
turned into that because it's just like it just became these big firms that own all the stocks in all these different companies. The same like
it
5,
would have
10
been that
firms.
if we just let things not. But I feel like once
mean,
people,
yeah,
okay,
like-
yeah, it's like one of those things. Like once the government was in the pockets of the corporations, right? They could sort of loosen the rules, the guards that were put in place
Right.
to prevent
Yeah.
late stage capitalism, which is accomplished by corporate consolidation, right? So antitrust laws are put in place and enforced at one point, which are not anymore.
Yeah.
That would be like, no, you guys can't just have 60% market share. Like what the like fuck you. That's way too anti-competition.
There
There needs to be a way for people to continue to compete in this space.
Yeah.
Right.
What's
but then
next, man?
once people are able to like, those are laws, right? Government laws that were later on influenced once these companies are just like, okay, well, I can't fucking like compete my way to the top honor, but I'll just buy my way in. So they fucking get people in their pockets.
I
They
get
change
to
the
the
rules,
point,
start
man.
loosening it up. Now you have Disney that owns fucking Fox and fucking
owns everything,
Pixar
man.
and
Jesus
Marvel, and it's like,
Christ. All the
what?
music
Like,
videos are.
There was
this is like, it
a.
wasn't built for that. It was like this is what happens when people get corrupt.
Okay, so
basically.
like what my question, the thing I always come to is like we're at such a point where I just think like, okay, what is next? And then
Obliteration.
But you think in the annals of American history, sometimes there is a singular figure that comes in and actually is so transformative that they set the stage for the 100 years. The last one we had was FDR. The one we have now,
Me.
Donald J. Trump. No.
I think, yeah, in a weird way though.
In a weird way, dude.
yeah.
Trump. I was looking at Trump.
One of the most influential figures of like our lifetime.
He's exactly. He's like
Yeah.
when Hegel
Sucks, man.
saw Napoleon on horseback and he called him the zeitgeist in motion. I was looking at Trump like shooting the shit with cashiers at Chick-fil-A, and I thought like, damn, this is the moment. This is the spirit of the time. It's great. Yeah, trying to get rich. He was just so personable with those people.
Sundays,
and like right now, there is no Republican Party. There's no Democratic Party. Those two institutions have been completely delegitimized in my eyes, in the eyes
They've
of a
been
lot of people.
hijacked by neoliberalism and far right.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
What do we have left is MAGA, basically, and it's this singular figure. So when Trump wins, he has a moment here where he can do something genuinely transformative. But he's the person I trust the least to do anything.
Actually, make a good
positive.
Civil War movie. It's
Oh,
real
yeah.
No, but you're saying that he's so, like he could actually seize the moment and make like a real.
He could
like,
because we are
What would
so
he do?
hungry
That was good.
for
Come
that
on.
kind of
you
figure
trust
right
Donald
now.
Trump to fucking like you're saying. You said he's the least person.
He's
right?
the person
Yeah.
I trust the least to do anything positive.
You
But
think
we are so
anything-
hungry for a figure like that culturally.
But
I feel like
it already happened. We did that.
But I feel like
I
it's
know.
just yeah,
And
the
he
people
sucks.
just gotta realize that, bro. He's one of them too.
I know he is.
He's
He
one
just-
of
he
them.
just
man.
way
But like, dude,
better at
bereft of okay, if our institutions can't generate someone like that in the next couple generations, there's going to be a figure that becomes that person who destroys these institutions for better or for worse. Because there's a lot about America that I love, and there's a lot about these institutions that are actually beautiful and revolutionary and have the capability to produce good people and good governance and
There's
good.
no
Like we can
there's
really
no-
reform prison, is what you're saying. For example,
We could do so much.
Like,
There's
someone
could
there's
just be
so
like-
much ahead of us.
but
But,
the thing-
be like,
if we
hey,
can't, but if
yeah.
we cannot produce that through our institutions will be delegitimized,
but-
and whoever comes
Yeah.
next to fill that void will
Yeah.
dissolve them.
Well, whoever's
Yeah.
president in America they can't unilaterally make those changes anyways.
But that's the thing. If the presidency can't produce that person, we'll produce it outside of the institutions.
But
There'll
even
be
if-
like
but-
an American Caesar
but I
who
feel
will
like
cross
with-
some sort of spiritual American Rubicon and completely change the stage.
Well,
I
That's
feel like
the
what
thing
Jacob's
I worry.
saying though is that like the president, the role itself is like has just very limited.
like we're
influence.
just
No, we can't
we're
do
just
that.
we're just on a seesaw.
You know what I mean? Like the
Basically,
president himself, like he'll be like, "Bro, you want to fuck with us? We'll kill your ass." You want to see
Yeah,
what we did to
basically.
JFK?
No, the president can't do shit.
You
Yeah,
wanna
that's what
fuck with us?
that's what they did to JFK.
Yeah, they'll be like,
And
"You wanna fuck with this
no,
bitch?"
because like the last president, we go back to him, the last president that actually wielded genuine power. Because you look at FDR. FDR ruled like a constitutional monarch. He did things unilaterally by declaration, and he had the popular mandate behind him, so he could get away with anything, and people hated him for it.
Because of the war, you mean?
No, but even before that, he had that
The New
mandate
Deal.
during the New Deal. He had
Yeah.
that mandate during the Great
Well, because
Depression.
he really came up, and I mean, the New Deal was pretty solid.
Yeah, the New Deal was solid and it was revolutionary, but it was a revolution that was produced through our institutions. There was a
Right.
legal heir to them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm saying like if our institutions dissolve to the point where they're delegitimized, they won't be able to produce a moment like that
Well, I
or
think
a
in that
figure
regard,
like
then
that.
that's why we're fucked. Because I think like these institutions that you're speaking of right now, like to my knowledge, in my perspective at least, they only just produce more neoliberal minded folk, right?
Yeah.
Who are like, and neoliberalism just essentially will just destroy like the working class after enough time.
will.
Because
Yeah,
it's just
it will.
it's just all about.
But you know what we get?
Again, corporate consolidation. Now you have one company who decides what the pay is.
Yeah, but
right?
you know
And,
what?
like a whole fucking industry.
Hey, how about you shut up? You sit in your fucking corner. Here's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, exactly. Straight up, right? And that's
Here-
the thing.
here's-
It's like
here's
you got a whole
Buffalo
fucking
Wild
generation
Wings.
so high on this stupid shit.
Yeah.
That they
like,
just let it happen.
basically.
Oh, that means that fucking the X-Men can be in my fucking movie.
Yeah, no,
No, it means that every fucking person who works at Disney now, they just spread their ways of like exploiting workers.
Yeah.
Like now people are just gonna get paid less.
No, it's disgusting.
Now you get people
anyway,
getting replaced by AI and shit.
all of this to say that I think I am that American Caesar, and I'm just kidding. No,
I
we're,
feel
we're
like
fucked.
that's my thing though. Is like that's why I'm afraid to have a child because like I'm gonna fucking get that fool ready to be that person. dude.
Yeah,
dude, you
I
better
think
fucking-
so. I think it's
Yeah,
like
fucking do it, or at least participate
it's
in
like
that
Attack on
movement.
Titan almost. It's gonna be hard not to just like how do you not do
Yeah,
that? Like
I
how do
think
you not
every-
seize that opportunity to be like, you're gonna be a fucking killing. But you're gonna go.
Dude.
You're gonna go be a fucking like.
Hey, dude, every
You're gonna go fucking rule the
every
world, bro.
politically conscious man fantasizes about being that person. Fantasizes about being Napoleon. Fantasizes about.
But to
being,
me, I feel like I acknowledge it's not gonna be me
Julius
though.
I know, it's definitely not gonna
but
be
it's gonna.
me.
It could be your child,
man, good man.
and or their child.
Yeah, I watched
it, bro.
9 hours on the Cold War this week, and so I'm just concerned about international politics. Like, I'm really scared of nukes right now.
Yeah, do that Cold War shit.
Wait, why
I've
are you
actually
afraid
been.
of nukes?
I've been.
Because I watched 9 hours about how we could all die from nukes.
Yeah, you really
it really gets ingrained into your brain when you watch it for
maybe
9
hours is
hours.
overkill. Maybe
I
you
feel
can
like
get that message in 20
mutually
minutes.
assured instruction is pretty effective though.
It is, but
'Cause
then
it's like,
and
you're
I know
supposed to everyone wants to bust one more nut.
it is, and
You know what I mean?
like,
You get like, I'm always gonna be like, bro, I could have smashed at least one more time. Like I could have had sex one more time in my life. I'd rather just take
dude,
that.
imagine being in Hawaii when that fake signal went off.
Oh, that was scary.
You're like, y'all gonna die in 20 minutes, and they're like, just kidding.
What's the name of that? I'm gonna look up the guy's name who basically prevented World War III from happening because he
Didn't it press a button?
there's a false alarm.
This is
and
in the
he-
documentary.
yeah.
I watched this. Yeah. Basically, they thought that they detected a missile from America, but it was like reflection off the moon or some shit. And the guy was like, I'm just going to make sure and not trust like the measurements. And because he did that, he didn't fucking launch their nukes and shit didn't go crazy.
No,
but
I
the
think
thing
he
is,
just didn't
Nice.
buy it. He just
Yeah.
didn't buy the situation. Is what
Yeah,
happened. Like
yeah, so he went to verify it, basically.
no, I think it really came down to like wait.
I promise you, I just watched this
Oh
like
wait,
3
so
days
how did
ago.
wait say it again?
Basically, the instruments were saying that a nuke was incoming.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
he was supposed to do is launch one. And he goes, well, I'm not just going to trust instruments for this big of a decision. So he goes and checks it, and there's no missile. There's just reflections off the moon. And he got reprimanded and basically ousted from like Russia for doing that.
What?
Because he didn't follow orders.
Soviet Union.
They told him to launch the nukes, and he was like, let me make
Yeah,
sure first.
the warning system reported the launch of a ballistic missile. He suspected a false alarm, decided to wait for a confirmation that never came.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Damn.
According to the blah, 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 nuclear retaliation requires that multiple sources confirm an attack. The incident exposed a serious flaw. He was neither rewarded nor punished for his actions.
In the doc, they say, well, he basically implies that he wasn't, maybe not at the moment, but basically like he was just like blackballed from like going any
Yeah,
higher.
I bet, dude. Had he launched it, had he reported it, his superiors might have launched an assault against the United States.
Dude, in that doc,
His name?
they sorry, what's his name?
Stanislav Petrov.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
a
shout
great
out
Russian
Stanislav
name. But they go over like when like
We
the
love
movie
you.
War
Thank
Games
you.
was shown on TV for the first time, and apparently 100 million people watched it, and they're interviewing people like the next day, and it's like a mid 40s white woman like in the 1980s just being like, it really disturbed me. Like they were like, that was the moment where they're like, holy shit, this is what could happen.
What movie?
War Games was like the first movie depiction of mutually assured destruction happening.
Wow.
War Games.
And it
Wow.
didn't show like
Shout out
any-
War Games.
It didn't show like any-
No, that can't be the right movie. Isn't War Games the one with the kid from Wonder Years?
Who plays video games and shit.
That's a different thing. This
No,
is
wait.
about what would happen if everyone launched their nukes. And what really
can we get
disturbed
confirmation on this
Yeah,
via
I
the
got it.
internet?
and
I'm
what
on
really
it.
disturbed them about the movie is that it doesn't take any sides. It doesn't say who caused it in a good way. They're being because they don't want to take like a Russian side or an American side.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
like this is because basically it's what maybe Civil War could have said if it was a good movie.
Jacob, what is War Games about?
What is it called?
Wait, you tell me. What is it?
Mutually assured destruction. Basically, what would happen if a bunch of nukes were launched and Earth ended?
I mean, that's fair. It's right.
Yeah,
Really?
But you're right too, Nathan.
and doesn't
What do
take a
you mean?
side.
Okay, it's Matthew Broderick,
Oh yeah.
Wait, what's the release year of this?
1983.
Okay.
He plays a young computer hacker who unwittingly accesses United States military supercomputer programmed to simulate, predict, and execute nuclear war against the Soviet Union, triggering a false alarm that threatens to start World War III.
Wow.
And
Because
this was
but he thinks it's a video game.
Oh wow. And you know what? You know what else? Matthew Broderick killed
I
someone
gotta
in
watch that,
Ireland.
man. That sounds
You
awesome.
guys know that Matthew Broderick like ran someone over in Ireland, like killed him.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you Simba?
Simba.
Simba.
He voiced Simba.
Yeah. He voiced Simba, adult Simba.
Adult
in,
Simba. You know,
it's a
Lion
really
King.
great
And you know
movie,
what? Hey,
though.
that wouldn't play today because young Simba is voiced by a small black child, and then you can't just grow into Matthew Broderick's voice.
Why not? Oh, you're
That's
right.
just how it is, baby.
Just optics wise.
It's just
I'm
optics wise.
assuming-
Yeah, that's how we do it in the industry now. Again, neoliberal hellscape. That's how we do it. It's all just about the perception of diversity.
Your
Doesn't
fake
actually
lion
need
has to have the same
your
race.
acknowledgement
for both voices.
of diversity has to be as surface level as possible to check the box in the most cost efficient way. We have to quantify the financial impact of having a diverse workforce to justify having
literally
it.
want to.
That's where we are today, ladies and gentlemen.
I want it. Can you, Jacob?
It makes more money.
Jacob, would you mind playing the Logic song about the suicide hotline? Because I want to kill myself.
Woo! Who can relate? Who can relate? I can relate to anyone who is ready to hit the ground running this coming Monday.
Oh God!
As we wind down this Sunday night.
Fuck my God damn it!
I know.
Well,
it sucks.
Oh yeah, one thing, Jacob. What are we on time? How long have we been doing this?
We're winding down now.
We're winding down. Okay.
Yeah.
The song, guys.
Wait, we're gonna get a fucking copyright strike for this shit.
Wait, is this really the Logic song? Don't play this. Oh,
I don't want to hear this song.
don't wanna
Folks,
hear
this
it?
is terrible.
No.
I hate Logic.
No.
You know what?
All right, fine. You told me to play it.
I was joking.
He was
God
joking.
damn, man.
Oh,
Oh, turn
let
this
it go.
off.
Play more.
Okay.
Play more.
Anyway,
more.
folks, thank you.
Hey, thank you all for coming to Pretend Friends.
We love you. Oh, it's God,
okay,
Jacob.
okay.
Kill
Sorry.
yourself.
Turn
Kill
off the
yourself.
fucking song. Turn off the song.
Turn off. Stop. No.
Okay, who
bye.
can relate?
Jacob, stop.
Thanks for coming to Pretend Friends.